Hello and welcome to the season finale of Long Beach by Night, Season 2. This is Episode 7, Pulvis et umbra sumus. That is Latin. Pulvis et umbra sumus. Sumus. Even I can't say it right. I'm too excited to speak Latin. Let's meet our vampires. We have Mr. Alquin Gersh as St. Valentine. Ash Minnick as Vi. Sam Delev as Reese. Melee Damage as Lula Castile. D'Artagnan Mataliano as Alquist Lazier. Our returning champion and iconic cuddly boy, Jake, as Joey. And I didn't miss anybody, did I? We're in uncharted territory here. And me, B. Dave Walters, is literally everyone else. Again, now more than ever, as independent content creators, we rely on the generosity of people like you, both in the form of bits and tips and in the form of support of our sponsors that make this show possible. First, Dogmite Games, the makers of my beloved DM screen that I don't have in front of me because you would not be able to see my face. But as you know, it is incredible. It's custom. It has a me on the front of it and the city of Long Beach. It is a beautiful. Dogmite makes tons of kick-ass gaming gear for all your tabletop needs. With over 30 thematic sculpted designs, they're sure to have the perfect screen for your game. Check them out at dogmite.com. There's, of course, Backblaze. Backblaze.com/Long Beach by Night. Backblaze handles all your data backup needs. You can back up your videos, pictures, files, anything that is important to you. $6 a month. No gimmicks. You can access it from your cell phone. You can access it from a drive that they will send to you. If you send them the drive back, they will give you a refund. It is the easiest way to make sure your data never falls victim to the Second Inquisition, Nosy Nosferatu, or anywhere in between. So backblaze.com/Long Beach by Night. There is Level Up Dice, purveyor of fine. See that? That was seamless. Fine luxury dice. They have clan-specific dice for Vampire the Masquerade. You can go on and get yours. I, of course, have my beloved Ventrue dice. They even have dice for Thin Bloods. Every clan that matters is represented. Yeah, I said that. Every clan that matters is represented. Just listening to the aggravated feels damage.
Clanless shall rule. The clanless shall rule.
This is how it starts. That's what the Book of Nod left out. The caitiff wouldn't get dice from Level Up, and that would begin the uprising. And last but certainly not least, Games for Love, which is a 501c3 kindness-oriented charity aimed at easing the suffering of children, especially at times like this. But the Games for Love both has events for kids to bring like gaming and experiences in the hospital so that they can have some fun, and also uses gaming or themed and oriented events to help raise money to increase their quality of care all over the world. So please visit gamesforlove.org. Now, on with our vampire story. A few nights have passed since the events of our previous episode, and they have been eventful nights indeed. Word has come down and quickly spread that a blood hunt has been called on Baron Therese Vorman. She is public enemy number one in the eyes of the Camarilla, and even many in the Anarch movement are excited to have a chance to finally take a piece out of her hide after years of her, quite frankly, being Therese. But meanwhile, down here in Long Beach, prep has continued for St. Valentine's show tonight. Invitations have gone out far and wide, where tonight at Club Black Damp, run by the lovely Amethyst of Clan Toreador, he will have an opportunity to put a plan, I was going to say years in the motion, but perhaps many months in the motion. But first, let us find out what it is you all have been up to in the intervening nights leading up to this. Let's start with Lula.
I have been going around a significant amount of places here in Long Beach and in the Valley, both solidifying my barony and promoting St. Valentine's show. I have reached out to Therese, and she did not answer. Now I know why. But so I've also sent out a text message to Jeanette to just see if I could get either a hold of her, at least a little bit of support. I've acquired the support of the Baron of Compton, the Baron of Party City, and pretty much the support of all of the Malkavians in the valley. As well as the continued support of the House of the Dark Mother, and I got a lot of other amazing kindred around the valley to agree to help us fight the Giovanni if need be. And then last but not least, I also reached out to that wonderful Vargas fellow and invited him to the show as well.
Good. Reese?
Apart from losing the will to unlive, that's a lot. That is a lot. I have been trying to focus on the children. So I went by the motel, confirmed that 3 of them are there, that they are reasonably healthy and in secure circumstances. I've warned all of them to shelter in place tonight, just in case. But other than that, I've been working with St. Val to try. We're going to try to make this kind of
two questions. Have any of the Childer besides Malibu and Savage been moved to Echo Mountain, and have any of the Childer been invited tonight?
None of them have been invited. I thought about moving them. I decided to hold and keep them where they were until after we saw the fallout from all of this.
I mean, fallout seems like a strong word. I'm sure this is just going to be...
Well, I'm a strong boy.
A silky smooth and uneventful show of misdirection and prestidigitation. Alquist Lazier.
Yes, hello. Well, I have been taking care of what is most important in this entire game of life or unlife that we call me, of course. And I have decided to go back to my Echo Mountain resort, the boat within a boat. It's kind of my favorite part. And I have been making sure that the whole resort has been acting as it should be and well oiled, and making sure that all the staff are doing what they're supposed to be doing. I've indulged on a few of them, but of course, it's all in fun. I have also been talking to a few of my assistants on this whole barony thing and trying to gather what it all means and what's the drawbacks of having someone so close to someone as powerful as me, as you know. Other than that, I think that's about as much as I've been doing.
Girl, same. Vi.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing some Vi-specific things, taking Ghost out, making sure he feels appreciated, also helping Reese as much as possible. I also reached out as best I knew how to try to get in touch with Pander. I have not heard back, but yeah.
Duly noted. And last but certainly not least, the Tremere of the hour, St. Valentine.
Well, it's been busy. It's been busy. Yeah. I always, no matter how many times I do this, it's always a bigger show, and the butterflies seem to scale up with it too. So I've been very, very nervous. But a lot of preparations. It's going to be great. Everything's going to go off flawlessly. I have I have my new elixirs I've been developing with some of my input from our Duskborn friends. Yeah, I mean the trap doors have all been tested. The cage is prepared. Yeah, I mean, and with all of the information I have embedded in this, like he has to show up. He has to show up, and this is my chance. This is my chance to finally get what I deserve, what I'm owed. It's been I've had the support of Reese and Alquist and Lula in making this happen. I really appreciate that. Alquist has been it's been interesting. We've been bonding while I've been trying to brief him on all of where his marks are and how he's going to participate in the trick. Yeah, and I just recently I've been so busy I haven't even seen the flyers, but apparently Lula has been distributing some flyers, and I hope that there are multiple audiences for this show, and I hope all of them appreciate that it's very layered and has something for everyone, kindred and kind. Yeah, and I'm going to make Amethyst very rich, and if there's any conflict going forward with the Giovanni, hopefully at least we'll have some allies from that. But yeah, the show must go on, and it's what is it an hour to call? Can I get a call?
Yeah. Doors are in an hour.
All right, we're good.
There's a line around the block, Mr. Valentine, Mr. Saint Valentine, Mr. Saint, Mr.
Just one block?
Well, it's the fire marshal, sir. Like we have to they'll only let 500 people in.
You're supposed to pay the fire marshal. The demand is easily going to outstrip 500. BuzzFeed is going to be here. Come on, make this happen.
You all find yourselves in the tower area of Club Black Damp, which is the VIP area overlooking Amethyst's particularly lavish goth club. She set you all up at a different establishment than the one that you were at previously. This one is a little bigger, far more ornate, but we find the five of you gathered in the calm before the storm.
Oh, hey. Wow, everybody's this is nice. You're all here to wish me luck?
Oh, dear, you look so dapper. I'm so proud of you. Oh, I can't wait to see all the wonderful things you do. And Lula walks up to you and actually gives you a little pinch on the cheek. And she goes, oh, I'm so proud. All right.
This is great. I really appreciate everything you did with the marketing and the promotion. I know you're a lot more popular than I am in kindred circles, and I'm very happy that you've leveraged that for me.
Oh dear, I'm just a little older and more well endowed. That's all that is. So don't you feel bad.
The flyer that Lula has created and distributed is Lula, would you like to describe the flyer, or would you like me to describe it?
Oh, you can describe it.
It is the distilled essence of 1994. It is pink and colorful with Saint Valentine prominently featured right in the middle. The Black Damp presents Saint Valentine. There are definitely hidden alchemical symbols and signs that Tremere or any real sorcerer would recognize. One night only show at an after hours party with a special guest, MC Amethyst. And above all else, the flyer is loaded with levels of mystical symbolism for those who have eyes to see it.
It's kind of like vaporwave occult kind of thing.
It's kind of perfect.
Well, it's gonna do its work. So, geez, I've been so tied up in the show. Like, I haven't seen some of you for a while. Like, what's good? What's going on?
Very little is good.
That's an expression, Vi. That's what the youth say. I am told.
Well, me personally, I am more than excited to to debut as you, of course, but I think they will see through your act and notice the real star, which is me. Shining.
Well, what's up? What is up with your shirt? We have to match. We have to look the same. That's the point.
Listen, I understand that you like things buttoned up and tip and tidy, but that is not me. Alquist is always relaxed and ready to go for anything that the life has really to offer. And
Okay, and well, hold on. But if you're in the same costume as me now, you can't go downstairs. You got to stay here, or you have to use one of the backstage channels. You have to go take the backstairs. Don't let people see us wearing the same clothes before the act. I thought that was obvious.
no, I'll just speak to them a little bit and make them forget everything they've seen. It'll be
yeah.
fine. You don't stress anymore. You know you've done this a million times with me. We'll be fine.
But that's the thing, though. Is like every time you use your powers like that, it consumes some of your strength. You need to save that. Like if this works the way I'm expecting it to work, I'm gonna need you to be more than charming once we're down in the basement.
Fine. Who are you?
Just button your shirt up or something, please.
Just
Reese,
it's for you.
Yeah.
what is Reese doing during all of this?
I'm double checking passive travel. I'm talking to some of the guys at the door. I've got open line with the nurse buddies that we've been talking to. Just hope you're doing well. See you tonight. See what you see. Maybe some of those dollar stack emojis with the wings.
A few moments later, you get another text back that is just a stream of exclamation points and 3 number ones and more exclamation points and 2 number ones.
Yeah. She's a cutie.
And then a few moments after that, a different number in the same group chat just says, is there a kill command?
None on site. Stand by.
A few moments later, Reese, a young woman comes up to you fairly panicked, and they're like, excuse me, Reese, I realized that we weren't supposed to open the doors ahead of time, but there's just somebody that just kind of insisted on coming in, and I sort of couldn't stop him. He's
all right, I'm gonna move forward.
He's like, when you're going forward, he's like, he's over in the sanctum.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll take care of it. Thank you.
And you come in to see a familiar face. How does Joey look like tonight?
So Joey's wearing his traditional gray suit, but he's a little bit more festive tonight. He's out and about in the town, man. So he's wearing a little bit more color than normal for his button down, no tie, but had to go with the black slacks. But as soon as Reese comes through, Joey puts his arms up. Reese, baby. This is going to be a good night. I'm excited. You excited?
Didn't expect you, but I'm always glad to have you.
Well, first of all, I pretty much got an invite from Lula. So there's that. And two, with all these flyers going all over the place, how do I not show up?
I had no idea this was your thing.
I mean, it's not, but I'm going to watch this shit show happen one way or another.
Yeah, I'm the one with mop duty tonight. So,
well, hopefully it doesn't end in too much bloodshed, but I had to be here. There's no way I could have possibly not been here.
Well, I'm sure Popcorn will be at the concessions or something.
Well, if you need an extra hand, let me know.
Hello, Joey dear. I'm so glad you could make it.
Lula, how are you? I got your message, by the way.
Good. We can chat about that sometime, if you'd like.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Not tonight. We've got other things to be doing.
Oh, 100%, dear.
So I know you guys can't drink, but I'm ready for a drink. Let's make this happen.
A moment later, you very much hear kind of a voice off in the distance, like, "What? He's here? He's here already? Oh, Lord Jesus!" And a moment later, Amethyst comes walking in as fast as she can in her high heels. The Black Damp is the quintessential goth club here in the sanctuary area, which is not really a part of the show. It is all red lights and black sconces in curtains and low lights. Amethyst looks like a complete neon acid trip. She's probably standing 7'3" right now with a visor that is going across with Saint Valentine and hearts just every once in a while scrolling by in LED lights. And she walks in and stops and composes herself for a moment and looks at you and is like, Mr. Adonis, and bows slightly.
Hi, how are you doing tonight?
Welcome to my establishment. No one told me. And she turns and very much looks at the assistant that had run for Reese, just kind of shooting daggers. No one told me that you were going to be in attendance. Or
I usually don't tell anyone that I'm going to be here, or it ends up causing problems. So I figure I might as well just show up and enjoy the evening. You know, sometimes just being yourself, you know?
With respect, Mr. Adonis, I didn't think that you traveled in these circles. And she sort of kind of like motions towards Lula and Reese, and quite frankly herself. It's like, these circles.
You know, sometimes people surprise you.
Well, I know a thing or two about surprising people. Can I take you in? Can I bring you to St. Valentine? Can I get you a drink? Get this man a drink. What are you drinking, sir?
A drink will be fine. Whiskey, neat. That's it.
Whatever you want. Whatever he wants. Whatever you want. Just it's on me.
Thank you. Just make sure everything goes smoothly, and you know, have a good night. Don't freak out that I'm here.
She very much walks backwards, cat-like, on her high platform heels, serenely, without looking. Turns and looks at you and is like, Reese, and let me present myself to Baron Castile. Hello, hi, hello.
Oh, hello, Amethyst. Wonderful to see you. How are you this evening? I love this. I love the hat. It's wonderful.
She's like, oh, this old thing, yeah. I had this like special order that got in just in time. It's amazing, right?
Oh, it's perfect, dear.
And she very much turns, and you can see when she gets close to you, underneath, she's got black light makeup on that the light of the visor like illuminates and is making her face glow when she gets closer to you.
Oh,
and she's like,
splendid. You'll have to do that to me later.
Absolutely. She's like, excuse me, Miss Castile, if I might. I realize this is St. Valentine's night and business is business and we are full up. But, you know, I'm all here for this whole like Baron thing. You know, girl got to get hers. I understand. Believe me, I get mine. But, you don't intend to come and like interfere with like my night to night operations, right? Because like I just kind of keep to myself and I'm fine kissing whatever ring. And she does turn and look right at Joey when she says this, kissing whatever rings are necessary. But I'm just trying to run a business.
Oh no, dear. And honestly, if I have your support, I'll continue to pass out flyers for your future shows. Do you see all of that outside? And Lula points to the confetti of brightly colored pink and green flyers that are just blowing through the breeze like tumbleweeds at this point. And she goes, "That was all my work." So, I mean, this could be mutually beneficial, dear. But I know I love all of this, and I feel like I do owe you one for way back when still, because I too had a little nibble of one of yours, with his permission, of course, back in the day. So it's a considerate favor to me that I will leave you alone to do whatever it is that you see fit, within reason, of course.
when you say that, this majestic drag queen like kind of draws up to her full height, which is of course towering over you. It's just like, good. I'm gonna go check in on St. Valentine. Y'all have a good time. And tonight, same thing. Drinks are on me. She looks at you, Reese, and Lula, and she turns and very quickly departs, much faster than you would think she could, honestly. Upstairs,
always so speedy.
upstairs, Vi, Alquist, in St. Valentine. A moment later, a young man comes in with a tray of martini glasses that are very clearly filled with Vitae, and puts them down on the table and is like, "Do you all need anything?" And he just holds up a wrist. He's like, "Anything?"
I'm good, thank you.
Well, I doesn't hurt to top off a bit. So yeah, there we go. Thank you. Thank you.
I got to.
Boy, I forget to eat. I get so busy, I forget to eat.
But we got that goblet special for you, sir. We thought it would go with this. I'm just a huge fan of yours, Mr. Valentine.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, cool. Make sure that security knows to keep all those lanes clear.
Yes, and the live feed is all set up.
Okay.
There was we will be broadcasting to Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, those like Romanian sites that I was given an IP to. Like I don't ask questions.
Yeah, those are important. Yeah, those are important. Yeah. Make sure those go out.
Yeah, no, but it's all in place. Also, Joan sent something, and a moment later, another man comes in with an almost cartoonishly oversized bouquet of roses, 24 long stem, and puts them down.
Oh, these are nice. Actually, hey, can we get a pickup? Let's refresh the flowers on 67C? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got better ones. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're upstairs.
Yes, sir. We'll take care of it.
Oh, that's great. You said these are from Joan?
Yeah, 45 minutes to door, sir.
Thank you. 25.
45.
Who's Joan?
Yeah, who's Joan?
You got it. Is there a card?
Yeah. Oh, here, let me look. Is there a card?
It just says "knock 'em dead" -JJ.
Okay. Yeah,
You got an admirer there?
I guess. I mean, it's probably something simple. It's weird though. I had a dream about these. That's odd.
You had a dream about flowers.
What was the dream?
It was like someone gave me these flowers, and then I looked down at them, and they shriveled. They all just shriveled, and they were in like a kind of cone thing, like they were wrapped in like paper or whatever, like a bouquet is. And I looked down to the point where it just turned into ash, and then the ash, it was just like it kept going down. It's weird. I've been trying to interpret my dreams more often, but I've talked to Lula a bit about it, but it's weird. It's very weird. Oh, actually, I had a question. I overheard some weird stuff while I was with the carpentry guys downstairs. What's this about Lula being a baron?
Yeah, I guess she just feels she can declare herself baron, like some fucking Camarilla or something. No idea.
I mean, can she do that?
I don't think so, but
no,
she could be doing it.
I mean, what do you two think about that?
I do not agree. No.
I mean, I love Lula. She's great. She couldn't be any worse than whatever other leadership we've got going on now.
Yeah. But
I mean,
when
she could be.
two of personalities come back, and then we have to deal with several different versions of Lula as Baron, and I personally cannot accept any of that.
Well, hold on a second, though. Isn't one of her personalities like like bad? Isn't there one that's like a kind of enemy type?
Yeah.
Genevieve.
The one that was.
How do we?
That was
I mean, how do we know that it's Lula who wants to be Baron?
Giovanni.
No, that's a good point. How do we know that Lula is Lula?
Because I mean, I'm all for Lula being Baron, but maybe it's not Lula who wants to be Baron.
I know when she was in touch with everyone, there were times Genevieve pretended to be Lola. Oh, well, that would make a lot more sense because what she's doing now is nothing like Lula. She's
Well, okay, so yeah, that's one avenue. The other thing I'm thinking too is just like whether or not we I mean, I want to support her. I mean, we're a family, but it's also that's going to put a big target on her back.
On all of our backs. This affects all of us.
I have no interest in supporting someone who's done what she's done. I mean, she's made it clear she doesn't trust us, and she feels that she can make decisions for us without talking to us. So I don't see how she gets my support about anything.
Yeah, I mean, I always saw it as just being that's kind of how vampires are. I mean, no offense, you two, but isn't that just kind of how it is? That it's better to ask forgiveness than permission?
No.
No.
That was terrible advice.
I mean, geez, at least in the short term, I want to support her, but I feel like, my eye is open.
I think it's a terrible idea, and honestly, if she does become Baron, I have no interest in being near her. She doesn't just put a target on her back; she puts a target on all of our backs. There already is a Baron in Long Beach, but
yeah. I mean, I definitely understand wanting to try to deal with one conflict at a time.
In point of fact, you, especially St. Valentine, know there is not a Baron in Long Beach. The boss runs things. He does not hold the title of Baron.
So, yeah, I mean, the boss doesn't call himself the Baron, but
Which boss are you referring to?
From the Giovanni.
I'm not talking about the Giovanni.
Aren't they the ones who are kind of running this stuff?
Yeah, that doesn't mean they're the only people in town.
I mean, are you counting us? Power players that we've become at this point. And I mean, we could be. I mean, you look at it, Reese's kids are an asset in the correct way. Oh, actually, that reminds me. I have to reach out to them and find out if they've heard from Naki. It's very important that I have Naki before the show starts.
I think Reese has been in touch with them, but yeah, you should double check.
Okay, great. All right, good. How have you been, Vi?
Fine. Why? What do you mean?
I just haven't seen you for a while. That's all.
Oh, I've been fine. Just tying up some loose ends.
Okay, that's vague. Very you. I like it.
I just figure, you got your show coming up. We got potentially have a lot of heat coming up on us. I don't want anything from my past to add to that.
Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, like I told Reese and the rest of you, like I do take any feedback that y'all have about this, like seriously. Like I know that I'm young and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you helping curb some of my more extreme ideas.
Reese told me that you were intending to maybe dabble in diablerie.
Yeah, that's kind of what I imagined, but
you ever done that before?
No. I mean, but there are a lot of things I haven't done before. It's the first time for everything, but After some
Oh.
consideration, let me just say that my mind isn't made up, and that when I do come to having to make that decision, I will listen to what other people around me have told me. People with more experience and good heads on their shoulders.
Let me just, when you learn to hunt, you don't start with the buffalo.
Okay.
Well, you should probably not hunt buffalo in general. Curry.
What? No, it's just a phrase. I'm just
saying.
No, I mean, not anymore, obviously, but.
Well, maybe Lacier Meats can bioengineer some buffalo meat.
We are very eco-friendly. I will have you know. We consider the environment.
That's true. Actually, there's a policy: no endangered animals, and they don't. It doesn't matter.
That is law, actually. So.
I appreciate all of the rules y'all have put in place to conserve, rather than destroy. It's appreciated, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Right.
I'm just saying, it's, if you want to go down that path, Val, that's your path to go down. It just starting so big seems a little dumb. Is all.
Yeah.
I worried.
But I also, I look at some of the people who I admire, and even if they're older and wiser, what they're really known for are the really bold things that they did in their youth. So I don't want to miss my chance by thinking small.
You don't think what you're doing here is bold?
I don't know. I get excited about my ideas when I first have them, but then the more work I put into them, the more derivative it seems, and the more I worry that other people
you are breaking the masquerade in public and inviting people to see it.
Oh, no. This time there won't be any masquerade breaking at all. This is just going to look like a normal magic trick.
It will look like that, but you are technically
people expect me to break the masquerade, and when I don't, that is a subversion of their expectations. You got to keep guessing.
All I'm saying is I think this is maybe bold enough for today.
Okay.
Meanwhile, back downstairs, Joey has found his way to the bar, leaving Lula and Reese there by themselves. A few moments later, a couple of stagehands walk by, struggling with 24 comedically oversized roses, like just big fat scarlet Carsons.
More admirers for St. Val, I guess.
Well, yes, perhaps. Or I just always assume that when there's a toreador around and a lot of roses, that it's part of the decoration.
Fair enough.
But they're lovely. I wonder where they're going. Should we try and catch up with the others, dear?
Yeah, I think that's best. What are you up to tonight? I have been coordinating with Val about what I needed to do if his daddy gets out, but I have no idea what your part is in all this tonight.
Oh, I passed out the flyers, dear.
So you're just free-floating?
I am doing what I do best in this scenario, which is I've packed this place to the gills with individuals who are willing to fight for me. So in the event that anything should go down or anyone goes to attack St. Valentine, they will stand hopefully to protect us. Likewise, as I will do the same for them. I'm good with a gun, but I'm nowhere near as strong as you are, Reese. So I do things other ways. And a lot of time that's just by making friends.
That's a word for what you do, yeah.
Are we expecting an actual fight tonight?
I hope not, dear. I really hope not. I'm expecting a good old-fashioned magic show.
Okay.
I think
seems to be a lot of
tempt
preparation.
Sometimes you invite something into your house and it all goes just fine. I really hope this is one of those nights.
I think we
But I
all
didn't
do.
bet on it. Chance favors the prepared, right?
Indeed.
The preparations in the club continues. Everything seems to be in order. And a few minutes before doors, St. Valentine's, upstairs, while you're still getting ready to hit your mark, you hear someone is like, St. Val.
Is Mackie?
Yeah. Right here. I got
Excellent.
inside. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, come over here. Come over here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So the plan is once Mr. X is brought down into the cage, you're going to have a moment to copy him. You can do that, right? You can make yourself look like somebody else, right?
I mean, yes.
I mean, I know this is a lot of pressure for your first performance.
No. I'm not gonna let you down. I'm not gonna let you down. This is my moment. Okay.
No. It is our moment.
This is our moment. Our moment.
That's right.
I can do it, St. Val. I can do it. And if I can't do it, I will get one of the others. But I can do it. I know I can. I really think it has to be you. I want to keep this kind of limited. The less people know about this, you're the only person I briefed on it. So at this point, I think I'm not going to make you do anything you don't want to do, but I feel like you're kind of locked in. And I know you can do it. In the shadows, Naki visibly appears to you for a moment. She is wearing, this time, she is wearing goth finery. She really is done up. She even has like black mascara on her fishy skin, which, doesn't help, but it's clear she really did try and dress up for this. And she has the standard purplish iridescent sheen on her scales and the slight gills that come out to the side. And her eyes are a mixture of excitement and terror as she's looking at you, but she's very much nodding.
This is great. I didn't even need to see. You've got good instincts. It's for Amethyst, right? Like we're all,
I was afraid I look really stupid.
No, this is great. You should do more of this. This is like you gotta make sure people see you. Let that light shine.
Oh, no, they don't. I'm not supposed to let people see me. No.
Okay, well, let you choose when people see you. That's a better way to describe it.
All right. Hey,
you can be the ultimate editor of your image because you choose when people see you.
I'm the ultimate editor.
That's right.
Thanks, St. Valentine.
So once you've taken his form, all you need to do is the trapdoor will take you up, the trick will finish, and you just wave to the crowd or whatever, and then you need to just go back into and just leave and act like the person was just normally part of the crowd. Yeah.
Okay. No, I got it. I'm ready.
You just need to make sure that anybody who is watching him,
right,
make sure that he thinks that he's okay and that he left under his own power.
I got it. Yeah, I got it. All right. I'm ready. I won't let you down. I won't let you down. I'm gonna go get in position. Okay.
Yeah.
And, she's like, hey, can I hug you without it being weird? Like, I don't want to like mess up your outfit or your outfit might explode because I don't know how you do things.
No. It's fine. I come in and I give her a big firm hug and a kiss on the cheek.
You feel like she physically tenses and then just like relaxes completely and is like, all right, this is gonna be the best night of my whole entire life. Got it. I'm ready. I'm not gonna let you down, St. Vi.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Neki. I appreciate this.
A moment later, you hear, St. Vi, we are 5 minutes to doors. I figured we'll let the VIPs in first, of course.
Yeah. And once everybody's in there, I think we've got a good 15 minutes of just, I know it's scheduled for for that time, but I feel like we want to leave them. We want to wait until the anticipation builds as much as possible, right before it breaks. Really got to make them wait. That, and I know that bar sales are gonna be impacted by it, so we really got to stretch it as long as possible. Because once the show starts, people aren't going to want to leave to go get drinks.
When you say that, Amethyst gives you a huge smile, and she's like, "I knew you weren't just a pretty face," and holds a hand out for a fist bump.
All right,
She's
yeah.
like,
You like this? This is for you. This is for you, Amethyst.
just did you stop being sweet to me?
I mean, with every show, I can reinvent the character, and I want you to know that this particular iteration of Saint Valentine is very, very influenced by you.
She just sort of smiles, and she's like, "Let's go make some money, you smooth motherfucker," and turns and walks out. So, as you all are preparing for doors to come in, so the club is laid out into roughly 5 sections. There's the tower, the VIP where you all are, the sanctum where the people will kind of come in from the street. The cloisters is the main area where the show's taking place, but there is another area here on the main floor called the asylum, which is usually the dance area, but it is mostly closed off right now. And of course, the underground, which is the basement area. So here ahead of doors, is anyone going to be camped out anywhere in particular? Or I know obviously St. Valentine and Alquist have somewhere to be, but are the rest of you going to be anywhere in particular or kind of moving around?
I'm going to be a location where I can see as much as possible of the crowd as well as the stage, and then activate heightened senses.
From the VIP, you would be able to kind of have a good view of everything. Yeah, up in the tower. Okay.
Okay. That's where I am.
Miss Lula?
I would split it between going back and forth from the VIP to walking around and checking on people. Making sure that a lot of the people that I've invited have shown up, and at least walking by and giving a kind wave or saying hello.
All right. And Reese?
Walking the perimeter. I'm taking note of people, noting where they sit. So right now I'm pretty near the entrance to the cloisters. I may go back west down to the end of that hallway right by the tower later. But I'm aiming to stay to the floor so that I can be mobile response.
And Joey?
I'm leaning against the back wall looking at my phone.
Question.
Yes.
Do we all have walkie-talkies or just
So you have an easy way to communicate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have an easy way to communicate. We'll call it walkies in here. Closed circuit.
So what you're saying
for Alquist. They're just easy. Streamlined technology.
So what you're saying is that I put the little piece in my ear, and a tiny man speaks to me, and I can speak back to him.
Yes.
This is fantastic. You are quite the magician. I didn't know that you could do these things.
Yeah. There's a lot of magic in the world these days.
There is. Do you have what were they? Those small round things filled with smoke?
Small round things filled with smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Round things. Are you talking about like vapes or something? Or
no, you smash them against the ground and the smoke erupts.
Oh, like Batman. Okay, yeah. I do actually.
Do you think I could have a few of those?
Yeah. Well, I'll have one of my assistants go get you some.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
I would definitely say smoke bombs are a fair thing to have added to the list of accoutrements for this evening. Never leave home without them.
Reese,
yes.
Sorry, I just want to clarify the heightened senses I've activated are my ears.
Well, if it's your ears, that's kind of going to be deafening once the music starts.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay.
You can do eyes. You can do scent. You can do ears. It will be uniquely uncomfortable once the show begins if it's ears.
Well, then I might just start listening now. Well, how loud's the music right now?
Now, at this exact second, is nothing until the door. Or, yeah, right.
Yeah. For right now, I'm listening, and I will tone that down.
There's a low ambiance. Saint Valentine. What would be the musical ambiance that you're after for the show? The sort of like cue music for that people will hear when they kind of come in.
It's a bunch of stuff with it's a very low droning kind of organ note underneath, and then there's sort of Tibetan singing bowl sort of, you know, hums and tones over the top of it. It's very, very music for airports. Mike Oldfield. It's some early 90s ambient sounding stuff.
Reese, as you're moving sort of towards the front, you hear a little bit of a commotion, and you hear just like, yeah, right. Hey, police, get out of the way.
I'm gonna move on up to greet Zool.
You see him very much like badging his way past the people on the door, with two people behind him, what looks like a middle-aged man and a middle-aged woman in police uniforms. And he looks slightly more kempt, like maybe he's taken to, you know, only wearing things twice instead of a dozen times. Yeah. And he's like, "Hey, Reese, good to see you. How you doing?"
Hello. Good evening. And good evening to your friends. Officer.
They both just sort of look at you. He goes, "Oh yeah, they don't talk too much, but they're, you know, they're solid. I just came to help keep an eye on things, you know, because usually when you guys are somewhere and there's people somewhere, there's a lot of like death and blood and screaming. So this is me being proactive."
To add to death and blood and screaming? I mean, you're a cop, so I assume.
No, it's no, Reese. This is me here to make sure all of them, and he motions back towards the doors, get home safe and sound to their beds tonight, all right?
Well, then we are temporarily in concordance. Could I borrow you for a minute?
Yeah. He looks at the two of them and he just sort of motions this way, and they break in two different directions moving into the club. He's like,
"You've been seeing Lula lately?"
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Your shirt actually has seen an iron.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, but I mean, no, sure. I am an exemplary officer of the Long Beach Police Force. Okay.
Has she been doing okay?
Yeah. I mean, what do you mean?
She's acting a little out of character.
I kind of got to blame myself for that, because I think a lot of this serve and protect stuff she hears from me might have rubbed off on her a little bit. You do know why she hid those childer, right?
Yeah.
Why? I want to hear you say it.
Probably worried I'd eat more of them.
She didn't hide them to save them from you. She hid them to save you from me, Reese. I'm responsible for every life in this city, even the fucked up half lives that we live. I want to see you live another 500 years, and I want to see every single one of them live another 1,000 years, and these poor fuckers live another 80 years and die sad and alone in their bed somewhere, but after a full and complete fucking life, okay?
Again, we find ourselves wanting the same thing, though. I wish I were so idealistic as to think we'll see it happen.
He does very much rub his black ringed eyes. Again, he looks like he hasn't slept in weeks, like he always does. And he's like, "Okay, you know what? Hey, hold on. First, I'm sorry, kid. I know You're just doing what you do. I know every single one of us has lost control and done some shit we weren't proud of. I know about the cave, all right? But here's the thing. The fact that you can't help it doesn't make it better. It makes it worse, okay? Because that means I can never fully trust you, just like I don't ever fully trust anybody, because I don't fully trust me, okay?
Do you trust Lula?
I trust Lula more than I trust anyone else. And whatever I feel for her, though, I know she's still got a fucking beast in here.
Never forget. That's all I ask.
Hey, this panda guy,
Yeah.
do I need to be looking to take his piece off the board?
If I thought we could, what do you think I think ought to happen to someone who made the kind of mess he made?
Yeah.
What he did is wrong on a level that this place hasn't seen in a while, and we could barely get to if we tried.
You know, I want you to understand something. And I want you to think on it, sleep on it, whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
You're trying to make it right. I'm trying to make it right. Lula's trying to make it right. All right?
So she better talk to us before making moves.
That ain't our way, buddy. That just ain't our way.
Gotta be if you need someone to back your play. Sooner or later, I gotta put my body down on the line for someone. They gotta convince me why it should be them.
He extends a hand to you, and he's like, lucky for you. Lula already convinced me. I should put mine down for you.
You ever feel like you don't trust me and you need to take me in? I understand you're doing your duty. I take responsibility. Like we talked about.
That's all anyone can ask. Try and be better than yesterday, all right? Hey, and for what it's worth, I do see you trying to make it right. I see you trying to make it right. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go find my girl.
Is that way? Your collar. Come here.
What? No, I'm like, this is the look. This is just how what it's
No,
supposed to be. Oh,
just trust. Just trust
Yes,
a youngster
right.
on that. Y'all give me
No,
enough
but I
shit
mean-
for it.
No,
once
but like-
I am right.
no, look at you. Like, you look like you shop at a hardware store. Come on. All right. But okay,
Yeah,
great.
well, you know, the person with the worst haircut is the best hairstylist. And so whatever, go on.
No. The hair, flawless. It is you got turned on a good night, but the rest of this, but it's okay. Well,
Yeah.
hey, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
get out of here.
And-
Get out of here. Don't want to see your cop face.
He turns, and right before he leaves through the door, he stops and he turns back and looks at you, and he's like, they're good kids, Keegan. They are good kids.
Why they deserve a life.
And he turns and leaves. A moment later, the doors open. And as Amethyst said, the VIP enters in first. Lula, you see a parade of familiar faces coming in. You see a young woman wearing black from head to toe, sort of awkwardly clutching a book to her chest as she walks in warily. Cassandra of Clan Tremere. You see another gentleman walk in a black shirt with a white pencil tie, sort of looking around with a just disapproving sigh from the moment he walks in the door. Rim of Clan Tremere. You see person after person that you'd extended invitations to come parading in, that they sort of look around and see you and greet each other and go on and get seated as they make their way in. You see sorry, everything froze up at once. I apologize. You see that Klaus fella that even you recognize when he walked in, Reese, from his YouTube video crying blood tears shortly after St. Valentine, being closely followed by other people just trying to hold him down. You see a cavalcade of people who can only be Malkavians. One guy looks like a scruffy professional wrestler wearing a sleeveless trench coat. You see a man walking in an all black Italian suit with his wife on his arm, wearing a fine corseted finery, and it becomes quickly apparent that there are dozens of kindred in attendance here tonight as the room continues to fill up. Miss Lula, what are you doing as the kindred start making their entrance to this fine association?
I walk up to them and I wave to them and go, "Oh, hello! I'm so glad you could come." Do a little hug and a little on each the cheek, and show everyone to the stage area where it's going to be, and perhaps check my phone to see if I've had any messages from anyone else, if they've had any trouble finding the place or getting lost, and just kind of keep my eye out to see if I spot anyone that I'm expecting to come. Anyone else?
Familiar faces keep pouring in, especially they're disproportionately representing Clan Tremere and Clan Malkavian, but for very different reasons are people coming through. And while you're sort of surveying things and greeting people, Zool does make his way up to you, and he just gives you a very quick kiss on the cheek and whispers in your ear, "You look fucking incredible, baby."
Thank you, dear. I broke out the pretty dress just for tonight, so I could look special while I was on your arm, dear.
He's like, "Hey, all your dresses are pretty," but he gives you a hug and kind of puts his hand immediately on the small of your back. Is the gun there?
It is.
He's like, good.
Yes, I wore a much thicker cloak tonight to hopefully cover it. You know, it is down around the shoulders. So I keep the shoulders forward. No one can really see it behind me. I'm figuring it out bit by bit.
He's like, "Hey, I brought some people inside I knew I could count on, right? I'm gonna, sort of be doing my thing, but I won't be too far away, all right?"
Oh, yes, dear, and I'll miss you, and I shall see you after the show. Or perhaps if there's any kind of intermission with music, we can get a little dancing together.
I don't know that we're gonna dance to this kind of music, but yeah, just whatever it takes to be close, I'm in. But he does kind of take your hand for a second, and he leans in. He's like, the word about all that Baron stuff is spreading. Not everybody here is gonna be too happy to hear it.
Oh, Zool, dear, my coterie is not even happy to hear it. I had really counted on them to support me, especially considering the fact that, they're caitiff, and they seem to judge me most about the fact that I'm Malkavian. So I just felt that was a bit of a double standard, that after all these years, standing up for them about, not letting their secret out about those things. And then, they turn around and they judge us for what we are. And it just felt like a bit of a stab in the back, dear. And I've tried to be civil about it as much as I can. And initially I was only going to do it to just protect the child, because if there was a target on my back, then they'd leave them alone, and they'd leave the boat alone, and they'd leave Reese alone, and the Giovanni would be too busy coming after me, and I knew I had you. But now I feel as though I'm going to fight to keep it, just to spite them, because anybody that can turn around and make me feel like I can't do things just because of my bane or my illness is just, that's not nice. And I feel now that I have to prove something for all of us, dear.
Say, hey, look. You ain't gotta prove anything to anybody, all right? Just look at me. I am a mass of contradictions. I understand that. I'm a fucking vampire who's a cop. I'm a Malkavian that's got to keep track of the law. Like I see things that no one else can see. So trust me when I tell you that I can see this. Okay, you just concentrate on trying to help people. All right, you guys are having your disagreement, but you've covered each other 100 times. You're gonna cover each other 100 more times. Don't let this shit come between you. All right, you just concentrate on staying safe. All right, maybe I would love it if you just left the hero shit to me, Lula, but okay, just
I understand, dear, and I'm trying, but you understand my worry that if my own coterie won't support me, you can see how I can feel a bit nervous about the support from others. But
they will come around. Like they will come around. That's just you.
Oh no, Zul, they will, or I will make them. I have to.
You can't make nobody do nothing, Lula. All you can do is the best you can, okay?
I'll make them see. They have to see. They have to see that everything I've done has been to help them.
He leans in and he just gives you a quick kiss. And he's like, I think a lot of people are going to see all kinds of things tonight, all right?
Oh, yes, dear, and you be safe, sweetheart. But please keep safe there. As you said, there's a lot of kindred here tonight, and for the most part, I know a decent amount of them, and they're, well, not exact. They're not friendly until you get to know them, but well, some of them are friendly. It's a mixed bag. It's a very mixed bag.
He looks around and he's like, well, the Malkavian network's in full effect in here, but is it?
Yes. That being said, let me tell you, have faith in us. We're on the rise. I've reached out to some of the other Malkavian barons, 3 of them to be specific. So now I think that the Moon Children will be on the rise here. We're coming into our day. I hate it.
He's like, Lula, you got to be careful. That Therese shit is going to come back on all of us. You know it will. You know it will. Nobody ever liked her, and they always said she was crazy, and now that's going to overflow. Be careful hitching your wagon to her. Now, of all times.
It's not just her, dear. And that Jeanette seems rather nice as well, and I've talked to her before in the past. Everybody gives that laugh whenever I say her name, and then, you know, I think back to the times we've interacted with each other, and yes, that's accurate. But I don't know, dear, but whatever happens to Therese, she's still one of ours. And she, from what I've heard, is, you know, on the right side of things, that there's a blood hunt, and she's pissed off the Camarilla, and she herself is an anarch. So, I mean, it makes perfect sense. She should be a hero for her sect. I'm not sure why anyone wouldn't stand with her.
Because she's terrible, Lula. I don't know if you ever met her. She's terrible. But you're right.
I've not had the pleasure of meeting Therese.
No one's had a pleasure of meeting Therese Vorman, trust me. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. Just careful, okay? Oh, and back your people. They will be there when you need them. I promise. All right? Just make sure you're there when they need you.
I always have been, dear.
All right. And he pats the gun again, and he's like, this is a small room. If you use that thing, please be careful. You're going to deafen some people.
Oh, I would never dream, darling. It's just a bit of a last resort. That's in case anybody comes after you when you're not looking.
And he turns and he leaves.
Before you go, she gives Zul a kiss on the cheek.
He does like very like carefully like wipe it away, but he's like, yeah, uniform regulations, right?
Oh, I understand, dear.
And he turns and leaves. St. Valentine. The show starts. What does it look like?
Well, the cloisters themselves have a bunch of foam arches, which are carved, to look like stone. So it looks like it's the inside of, like a medieval church, basically. And then there are light boxes on the walls in the shape of like stained glass windows, but they're actually like digital. Well, they're like digital screens basically, and so they're sort of stained glass windows all around, and they're animated. So they're they're very like they're going into various previous iterations of Saint Valentine. At different times, he's died and been reborn in the character's public story. The stage itself looks like a dock, like an old dock that you would find, and it's got some cues from the last place he did his really big trick when he in the harbor. So the crowd itself is as if they're in the water, and there's a lot of smoke that makes it look like they're in the water looking up at this dock, and it's in the shape of a cross, basically, like with the the X part of it in the center of the cloisters, and then like a kind of catwalk for the longer part of the cross that goes back to the backstage area and stuff like that. And so like the music and the lights and all that stuff, they're all queued up, and then it starts to build, and then there's sort of like these samples of like Gregorian chanting and stuff that start to come out over this sort of sick beat. And then all of the stained glass windows, it looks like flames and stuff start to rise in them. And then I walk out from the back of the stage, and I walk to the center of the stage. I go, friends. Saint Valentine. Oh my God, I love you so much. Great magic requires your attention and also your silence. Not that I don't appreciate all of this enthusiasm, but what you are participating here tonight is not entertainment. It is a ritual, an affirmation of death and rebirth, not just mine, but also yours. Here you see the place where I was reborn, and you will see me rise again. But even more, you will see that I can be in more than one place at once, and that I can move as quickly as thought. Let's start with a demonstration. And I reach off to the east, and out of the stage, there's a sort of puff of smoke, and what looks like a freestanding ornate Gothic door rises up. It's huge. And then on the opposite, on the west end of the stage, an identical door rises up again. And I walk over to the easternmost one. So there are many doors within the mind, within the soul, to take us from one place to another. And always the quickest way to go from point A to point B would be a straight line, wouldn't it? No, it would be if both were in the same place, if A and B were folded. And then I step in, I open the door, and I step into it, and then the door closes behind me, and then the door on the west side of the stage opens up, and I come out of that other door as well. And you see, but there's something about me that looks a little bit different.
As soon as Saint Valentine comes out the door, the crowd, of course, it's me, Saint Valentine. Definitely not someone else. It's me, Saint Valentine. And then I want to throw the smoke bomb on the ground and use Blink to rapidly grab some flowers and head into the crowd, if that is allowed.
Yeah. Everything is permitted. Nothing is forbidden.
That's what's going on then. It's me, Saint Valentine. And I smoke pops up and ping, blink off. I grab some flowers and I another smoke bomb, and there I am right next to some beautiful human beings, hopefully, maybe not kindred. And I'm just like, oh, you're gorgeous. Here's a flower for you, dear. And you too. See my next show. Here's some free guest passes. And it's just like these regular blank note cards. If you have the magic inside, you can see it. And then I throw the smoke bomb again, and I blink off to to the top of the what was that little torch thing? The sconces. To how big are the sconces actually?
Big enough for what you want to do.
Perfect. They're big enough for me to stand on top of them with the fake flame coming right here. And I'm like, yes, it's me, Saint Valentine. Are you ready? Do you want to see the rest of this trick? And I do the smoke bomb and I ping, disappear into the I go back into the door.
While all of this is happening, Vi, as you are watching, you hear a voice right over your shoulder, a young woman's voice say, "He's good, I'll give him that."
All right. So I emerge again from the eastmost door. I say, so you've seen it with your own eyes, and they wouldn't lie to you, would they? But you know, there's probably some sort of trick, right? There's something that I can do that only other people could dream of. But the truth is, I could do this with any of you. Any of you here can be in one place or two places, or go on a journey and come back. So let me find somebody from the crowd. But first, I think first I need to show you about what that path could be and some of the dangers you might find along the way. I don't want to involve somebody without them really seeing what they could be in for. And so then on the stained glass windows and projections and stuff that are around, there's an image of the safe that I drowned in, wrapped in chains, and it looks like it's spinning and stuff like that. And then there's a bunch of smoke and stuff that rises up over the stage, and then you see there's a silhouette of the safe has now risen into the center of the room, and then the projections in the stained glass windows and stuff. The safe changes from being safe wrapped in chains to like a burning like Sagrado Corazon, like a sacred heart with a bunch of thorns and flames and stuff around it. It's one of my logos. It's an image I've used a lot, but it changes into that on the projections, and then the smoke starts to clear, and then you see the actual safe is on in the center of the stage with the chains around it. And then I snap my fingers, and the chains seem to fall away, and then the door to the safe creaks open with an ominous like, "Arr!" And there's a weird, unearthly purple light coming from inside. And so I walk to the southernmost point of the cross, furthest out on the stage, and I'm scanning the crowd, and I'm looking for my sire.
Give me your wits and awareness, Saint Valentine. Miss Lula Castile, also give me your wits and awareness. Vi, while you're up there in the VIP watching all of this happen, that voice comes over your shoulder again. How did he do that? That was weird.
Okay.
What does this person look like?
You don't see anyone. You just hear it, just basically talking in your ear.
I'm just going to say magic, obviously.
I guess I'm invisible right now, so it shouldn't be that surprising. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you can see me, but this is Jade. I just wanted you to know we're in position.
Good to know. Thank you.
Anywhere in particular you want Eigen to set up, or you just want him to take his pick?
He should probably be in the crowd if you're up here.
How do you know he isn't already?
I don't. I was just answering your question.
You know, I'm trying to be all like spooky and dramatic, Vi. Come on, let me have this. Like we're doing all this like subterfuge shit. Come on.
I feel like we have enough drama as it is, but okay. Oh, you got me. I don't know where he is. I don't know how to.
I know what I was going to say, but now it's going to sound weird. I mean, I was going to be like, he's always where he needs to be. But, you know, now it sounds like cliche. Like, ugh.
If you don't say it like that, like with that voice, it'll just sound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just say it.
Oh, just right. Yeah. Got it. I asked earlier, is there a kill command, by the way, when we're supposed to do what we do?
Not. Hopefully not.
Well, I'm gonna stay near you, all right? So if you need something, call.
Will do.
How many successes was that for you, Saint Valentine?
4 successes.
And how many for you, Miss Lula Castile?
6 for me.
As you are sort of scanning the crowd, Lula, you do see some faces that you recognize. You see a man and a woman wearing black tailored outfits in white shirts and bow ties, both of them. The man's got clean cut salt and pepper hair, and the woman's got small ring spectacles that almost make her look like a librarian, and her hair pulled back into a ponytail. They are Emerson and Silk of the Black Rabbit Tremere. They are part of Strauss's own coterie, and they are very much Camarilla.
Oh, I will head down to say hello instantly as soon as I see them.
As you make your way over St. Valentine, you do see the man that you were looking for. He was an antiquarian that owned a bookshop that you like to frequent. He looks mid-50s. He would be unremarkable if not for his strangely dated style of dress, which is even more conspicuous in this particular audience. He's wearing a sweater, tie, blazer, complete with elbow pads, small spectacles, and a cane. He looks every bit like a 1950s bookworm. And he's the last person you remember from the old life.
All right, so I lock eyes with him, and I'm speaking to the crowd, but I'm looking directly at him. And I say, so my volunteer knows that they will walk the same path that I did. And they'll endure the same darkness and face the darkness within themselves. And then I point at him and I go, you, sir, I think you're probably a lot stronger than you look.
When you do this, the crowd sort of scatters around him slightly, and a spotlight comes down right on him, and he very much gives you the...
Yes, now. Come here now. You know you have to. You know you are compelled. You know the ritual has been executed properly. You cannot deny me.
And you see everyone sort of looking at him, and they're like, go, no, come on, go. And he very much stands up and sort of straightens his sweater a little bit and makes his way up onto the stage very warily and cautiously, but he is sort of every time you see the whole drama play across his face of wanting to leave or throw it in reverse, but these hundreds of people very much being go, because to them this is incredible.
Yeah.
And he sort of is peer pressured in real time up towards the stage.
Because I will move you the way I was moved. You will endure what I endured, and all of these people will see. Step into the safe.
He does lean in close, and he's like, Valentine, my dear boy, I hate to say that I'm a slight bit claustrophobic. I just do. Is it really necessary for your presentation to continue for me to go and do the safe?
After everything that you've done, you won't humor me in this?
Quite. And he does sort of make his way over to the safe, and then he sort of looks around inside for a second, and you see he kind of runs his hand across the top, and he does step inside.
All right. I raise my hand, and you can see the safe slams shut. And the chains are almost, they look like they're animated in some way, and the chains wrap up around it. And then you can see that there's a little bit of smoke and stuff like that. And then the safe seems to spin. I go over to it, and I turn it and things like that. And then once it stops, take a few steps back and I look kind of, exhausted. And then I snap my fingers again, and the chains fall away, and the safe opens, and it's completely empty. There's nothing in the safe at that point. Our volunteer is on a quest now through space and time, traveling millions of years in an instant. And to them, it'll be as if they never left, but they know that they are traveling the void that I was reborn in. But maybe since each second is an eternity, we should bring them back. And then I close the door of the safe and I turn it a couple times in a couple different directions. And then I open the door again, and there's nothing in there. And I goes, I was sure this would work.
Oh no! What happened?
Sorry. Some of this magic is very experimental. Let me try again.
Vi, Jade's voice echoes in your ear. She's like, "No, wait, did he really lose the guy? Like that'd be fucked up."
Just watch the show and see.
So then after a little bit of fiddling, I seem to kind of regain my confidence, and I close the door of the safe, turn the dial a few times, and then when I open it again, there he is. He's reappeared.
He stumbles out, and he very much is like,
How was your trip?
And like dramatically has like very spaghetti legs. And it's like,
thank you for your participation, but I think next time we should leave this to a professional.
And just sort of like stumbles off the stage. And
a round of applause for absent fathers, people.
Lula, you approach Emerson and Silk, and as everyone is like clapping and cheering, you realize they're just watching the show completely stone-faced. And as you get closer to them, they just sort of say, Miss Lula?
Yes, dears. You don't seem to be enjoying yourself. Is there anything I can do for you?
Mm-hmm. Maybe arrange a little talk for us with Saint Valentine.
Oh, I believe I can do that. I did pass along your card to him not too long ago. I think he was waiting until after the show here, because it was going to take a lot of prep to actually reach out to you, make sure he had a clear head,
Silk turns and looks at you, and she's like, yeah, he didn't call. Because maybe if he had, this whole thing wouldn't have happened. But now it's kind of our problem.
Well, I'm here to help in any way that I can.
A little wink.
She just sort of smiles at you for a second, and she goes, yeah, thanks. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but this time we're here on business.
Oh, precisely, dear. I'll leave you to it then.
Yeah, but if you can, thanks.
Oh, I will indeed. I'll pass the word along. Enjoy the show.
And she does stop, and she looks at you one last. She sort of looks you up and down, and she's like, you do look beautiful. That medallion, and her eyes kind of linger on it for a second.
Yes, dear.
It's lovely.
Oh, thank you. I've had it for quite some time. To be honest with you, can't quite remember where I've gotten it. That's neither here nor there. It'll pop into my head later. But I'll let you know. And you look ravishing this evening, dear.
She does sort of like smile for a second, and you see Emerson just looks at her, and she like very much stiffens again, and is like, "Yeah, if we could talk to Saint Valentine."
I'll head back that way. Make sure I can get to him right when he heads off stage. Then.
And Lula will kind of head to the side of the stage, like not going backstage, but still not in VIP. So she'll stay there so that she can head back as soon as Valentine's show is over, but also kind of turn around and see the rest of the crowd and up onto the balconies and all throughout. So she is stage left at this point now.
Saint Valentine, after the man makes his way off stage and the crowd oohs and ahs, what happens?
I walk over to the eastmost door, the one that I initially stepped through during the trick. And I say, well, okay, so that's it. You've seen it with both an experimental and control. And now I'm going to leave you the way I am, wanting more. And I step into the eastmost door and I disappear. And then the two doors sink into the back down into the stage. And then the music sort of swells to a crescendo, and then a hum, and then there's just that image of like the burning like Sacred Heart in all of the windows. And then I should be down in the basement with Alquist and our quarry.
Joey, what's Joey been doing during all this? There's definitely several faces in the crowd that he recognizes also. You might be muted, good sir.
Joey's speechless.
I'm about to say, so Joey's stunned, mind blown by what happened.
While he's figuring out his mic, can I say,
Absolutely.
while the show is ending, I'm going to say, hey, Jade, you still there?
Yeah.
Do you see those two folks that Lula was talking to?
Yeah.
I'd keep an eye on them.
Okay. Do we need to make sure they don't leave or trail them or?
Just need to make sure they don't cause a problem for us. I think they're here with their own orders in mind that may not be in our favor.
Like, well, do what we do. Although, if it gets too hairy, the price might go up.
You know money's not an issue.
You shouldn't say stuff like that before we negotiate.
Well, truth is the truth, right? Y'all are always where you need to be, and money's not an issue.
I didn't know there was so much money in meat.
You'd be surprised.
You know, I do have one question for you. And she actually appears where you can see her, because it's just the two of you in the VIP right now. Again, she's not very tall. She's 5'3", 5'4". The quintessential Nosferatu with, leathery, almost mummified skin, sharp pointed teeth, and severe features with a blonde braid that comes out straight to the side of braided blonde hair. But she's got beautiful, almost vibrant blue eyes. She's like, I looked into you. You go way back. And I dig the Old West aesthetic and everything. The nickel 6-shooter choice. It's a dependable firearm. I like it. But what's your thing?
I apologize. You might have to clarify that question a bit.
You're some kind of Old West gunslinger wilderness explorer standing in the middle of a goth magic show talking to a Nosferatu spy. Apparently you've led a very colorful life. I just I don't know. Just he's the magician, he's the rich guy. Reese is the strong boy, Eigen's a killer and really good at it. What's your thing? Because let me tell you, just while I can here, And she looks out over the crowd. She's like, I don't get to have that. I don't get to have that. I don't get to have fans or fandom or prestige or even notoriety. I just have my clan and we cover each other. I just got my people and we do what we do. And then we go to the next job. But someone like you that has been at it this long, that is still, I don't know, relevant. How?
I'm not entirely sure what you're asking. I don't know that I would be the person to give you advice on how to get a fandom. I'm not even really sure what that. I mean, maybe this is a question for Valentine. If you're looking to become popular, I don't know.
No, I'm not looking to become popular. It is not a question for Saint Valentine. How do you keep getting up every night at your age? How do you keep giving a shit?
Oh, I see. I never gave a shit. So I did never have to go through losing that. I just never had it. Haven't really given a shit since I died. I just know that other people do. And I know that I once had things I gave a shit about. So I guess I keep going because I hope that I will again. Yeah.
She looks at you for a second and her blue eyes narrow. And she's like, I knew Titan. Mimus too. They hired us. Freelance stuff.
Yeah, well, they gave a shit about a lot of dumb stuff, so maybe you should ask them.
She's like, look, I'm not here to tell you how to handle your family business. I was just curious.
Okay. Well, yeah. I just keep going. That's how I wake up, I guess. I don't know what anything else to do except keep going.
She does look down like she really is like considering what you said. And she's like, actually, I think that actually answered my question.
Okay.
And she's like, who are those guys?
Who is she nodding towards?
When you turn and look, she disappears. And you see down, I believe, unfortunately, Joey's having some technical issues. Joey, can you hear us? Or rather, can you speak to us?
Joey, can you speak to us?
That's true. It doesn't quite roll off the tongue as easily. But all right. I'm going to assume he's still having some issues. She nods down and you see Joey standing along the wall talking to a small woman with pink hair and a stocking cap on, which is highly conspicuous given this crowd. You see Lula posted up over towards stage left as St. Valentine has dispersed. You see Amethyst is starting to get up on the DJ booth and spin a little bit, and the crowd is sort of shifting from magic show to standard night Joey, I know before we lost you for a second there. So in the midst of all of this, as the show is sort of kind of transitioning away from the magic show to more of just a standard night now in the club, as everybody's kind of enjoying themselves, talking about what happened, taking in the gothic, wonderful ambiance of the Black Damp. What has Joey been doing during this?
So Joey's in the back. He paid a little bit of attention to the show, but I mean, I know they're kindred, so I just assume that they're just going to be using some sort of heebie-jeebie magic. So Joey's hanging out in the back with a small pink-haired woman, and that's about it. Just chatting.
Joey, while you're talking away, a familiar scent hits your nose of both Cray and Sullivan, of the Giovanni, but also of Mickey and Bronx, two lesser members of your own Shadow Lord pack.
I stand. I look at the woman and I go, "Stay here, stay safe. I'll be back." And I follow the scent.
She looks at you and says, "Okay."
Yeah.
Towards the front of the club, you do see those four people sort of making their way in. Cray and Sullivan wearing their trademark 1950 style three-piece suits. Cray in brown, Sullivan in tan. Again, Cray's pockmarked face is smiling as he is like very conspicuously looking at people and looking them up and down. Sullivan, with his burned face still not healing and maybe never will, is all business, and his eyes just look at you. You see Mickey and Bronx walking behind him. Like Mickey kind of takes a glass off of one of the tables and like sniffs it for a second, realizes it's blood, and literally just throws it over his shoulder and throws the glass as they make their way towards you. And you see Mickey and Bronx first turn and see you because they've picked up your scent as well. And
I walk towards them.
Cray turns and catches. He's like, "Oh, Joey.
I didn't think any of you were into magic. What y'all doing here?"
Oh, us? Oh, we're here to seek an audience with the Baron of Long Beach. Is she here?
Wasn't aware there was a Baron.
'Cause there's not.
But so you're searching for no one?
But if somebody is out there saying that there is, the boss has a reputation to maintain, so...
Can you give a description? She does not that only is a small portion of all of the possibilities.
The fortune teller, Lula Castile.
Ah.
Is she here?
She is. You want to talk to her?
You notice Cray and Sullivan are standing very much right in front of you. Mickey and Bronx kind of take a step and kind of stand to your left and right, which is a challenging posture. They should not be behaving like this towards you, Joey.
Yeah, I'm not going to start a fight, but I'm not backing down. I'm standing up, but it's very much okay, do what you need to do. I'm not worried about whatever the hell you think you're going to do. Well, I can get you, Lula. But I don't know. This doesn't seem like the right place to do it. Seems like a lot of people are around, a lot of witnesses. Seems a little bad.
Cray and Sullivan sort of look at each other, and Cray's like, I mean, it's only bad if it gets bad. Besides, he sort of motions towards Mickey and Bronx. He's like, people tend to be forgetful, right?
As they do. I show my hands and reach into my pocket and pull out my phone, and I text Lula, you should probably come up to the VIP.
Meanwhile, downstairs. To be clear, Joey, Vi, and Reese are on the top level. I'm going to assume, Lula, you've made your way down into the basement looking for St. Valentine, who is also down there with Alquist.
Yes.
St. Valentine, you arrive downstairs after your show.
Alquist, are we clear?
Yes, we are clear.
All right, let's see what we've got. I need you on my 6 for this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk to our friend here, and I want to go over to the cage and address our target.
Inside, you see the man that you'd asked up for your sleight of hand. You only knew the man as Madison, who was the proprietor of an occult bookstore that you like to frequent in Long Beach. It was one of the places where you could get the real stuff. You knew even then. You especially liked his store because you could oftentimes find old tomes with little handwritten notes and every once in a while, odd slips of paper tucked in. Like it was more than just a bookshop. But you've not laid eyes on this man in, 15 years.
Am I
St.
in the room with
Valentine.
them?
I knew it was him, though.
Am I in the room with them already, or am I still on the way?
You are approaching, because this would have been immediately, he would have teleported. So many things are happening at once, essentially. Even the text hasn't come in yet.
Yeah, he should be down in this cage, this warded, reinforced cage, and Alquist and I are standing outside and ready to get down to some business, aren't we, Madison?
Oh, Saint Valentine, my dear boy. It was lovely to see you again. You've been around in years. I saw the flyer. I saw the symbols, and I had to come in and investigate and offer my congratulations to you.
You can drop the act. I know it's you. You've guided me since the beginning. You gave me all this guidance, and then you fucking... You cut me off before I had learned what I needed to learn. And then you disappeared. Where have you been? You know I've been back for months.
I'd heard. I was I was lost in my work, you see. It is a difficult time for antiquarian bookshops.
Why would you turn me just to disappear me? Just for, was it some sort of trick? Is it some lesson? What was I supposed to learn from it?
He looks at you and he's like, and Lula, this is when you arrive to hear them asking this man in the cage these questions.
She slows down a little bit when she gets to the door because she was walking very excited just a moment ago, ready to tell them what a wonderful show they did. And when she hears that, she kind of slows up her step and moves in. Yeah, is everything all right? It's a wonderful show.
Well, here he is. This is my sire, Lula. Ritual wouldn't lie to me about this.
Oh, what is his name?
Madison is what I knew him as.
Oh, yes, like that mermaid movie. Yes, well, Madison, what an interesting name. Valentine, before you continue, I just wanted to let you know that, do you remember that card I gave you a while back?
Yeah, I think so.
The rabbits. Yes, well, dear, they're here, and they wanted me to let you know that they would like to speak with you, as soon as possible. So whenever you are done here, I would suggest heading up that way. However, do you need my help here with him? Sometimes a little bit of the mind bendiness to make sure they're telling the truth or something, anything like that. But you have the ability to do that, don't you? You've always been so precious and special.
No, not really. It's actually not in my skill set. I mean, I'd welcome your help.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can't 100% tell, dear. I don't really think there is a way to do that, but sometimes I can get a general sense if someone's being, shady or not.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised those other Tremere are here. I mean, the message was for this guy, but it had enough stuff in it that anybody who's familiar with our art could pick up on. Let's hope that their interest is just admiration.
So, excuse me, St. Valentine, I'm not your sire, dear boy. I'm not anyone's sire. I can't.
So why did you do what you did to me? Why did you sabotage the trick?
I didn't. My boy, and he does come forward and he stops short of touching the cage. He's like, no, I knew that you had a certain spark, you see. You were just so passionate about the old ways, and just no one was in the 90s. No one cared. And yes, I wanted to guide and mold you to maybe help you find some sort of power. I was hoping that maybe I could make you like me.
I mean, you're Trismegistus, right? You're the one who left all those notes in the books that I bought from you.
Well, yes, that was me, but I assure you, I did not turn you, boy, and I especially did not sabotage your trick. That would be ungentlemanly.
So, but you are a warlock.
He sort of like looks down at his hands for a second, and then he looks up for a moment, and he goes, "You're Lula Castile, and and you're," and he arranges his glasses. He's like, "Alquist Lazier."
Yes, it is me.
You still got a bit of the liquid latex on the side of your face there, Alquist.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Oh no.
You did great, by the way. That was incredible.
But
Oh, thank you.
it was all sleight of hand. You did it all with just a misdirection. That's not real sorcery. That's not real sorcery. Was this all just a trick to catch me?
Whatever do you mean? I'd like to turn on awe and then use entrancement.
You can make your entrancement roll.
Lula would like to hit premonition about this fellow to see if she can get anything about him, to see if he's telling the truth or not. Any kind
You
of
also can make your premonition roll. Meanwhile,
I have Sense the Unseen up in general too. So.
Okay. Give me your wits and aspects. Let's see what you can see. Meanwhile, upstairs, Reese and Vi, you all have absolutely clocked by now the fact that Joey is talking to these people. You immediately recognize the Giovanna. You've seen Cray and Sullivan many times. The other two you don't know, but you very much see them kind of like squaring off against Joey, and he's kind of like, you see him take his phone out and start typing a message.
I'm gonna get on the walkie. I'm gonna say, "Hey y'all, we got some Italian guests in the house. Lula, I'm gonna go ahead and give our friends a warning, or a heads up, I guess." And then I send a group text message to Lula and our two ghoul friends with
Typhus
this address.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. With this address and just looks like we need backup. And that's it.
All right. Do you move from the up in the tower, the VIP, or do you kind of stay up there to keep an eye on things for the time being?
I'm gonna stay up here for now. And again, I'll get on the walkie and say, y'all, I'm gonna stay up here and keep eyes, but if you need me anywhere, let me know.
You hear Jade just kind of whisper in your ear again. She's like, "Hey, if you need me to get you out of here, just say the word."
I appreciate that, Jade. I'm fine where I am. We just got a new player in the game. If you want to keep your eyes on them as well.
She's like, "Yeah, I know those guys. That's definitely just got real."
You got this, Jade. You know you're good.
You very silently hear the of the hammer of a gun next to you. She's like, yeah.
I'm assuming the music has gone back down again.
Actually, it's kind of transitioning into like club now. So
Okay,
it's
good.
before it was definitely pre-show ambiance, then kind of up for the show. Now it's sort of like just more like a VIP party at the club.
Okay. I'll keep my ears down, I guess.
Yeah, it would not really be possible to hear what they're talking about between all the people in here having conversations and the music. Like it wouldn't. Reese, you get that message and you see them, and you're down on the floor level with Joey.
Yeah. The numbers look real bad all of a sudden. I'm running some math, and Mickey and Bronx change things. They change things a lot. I'm going to activate Defy Bane, because it's better to do it early than do it reflexively.
Hey, I don't just add me next time. I don't even know why was that a thing that you would be doing? That's not a.
My hunger does not increase, and just it favors the prepared. So with that in mind, I'm going to get behind them so I have eye line with Joey.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, I'm not going to move in. I just want to be able to have him know where I am, and so I can follow off of his lead. I don't want to butt in if this is not the time.
So to recount, the club is laid out kind of like a grid. When you walk in the door, you're in the area of the sanctum that is very church-like. The tower VIP area is basically right off of this area, but overlooks all of it.
Yeah.
The sanctum sort of connects to the cloisters area, which is where the show was. That's where the majority of the people are. Some of them have sort of milled out kind of towards the sanctum area also. There is the asylum, which is currently roped off, which is another area of the club kind of to the north. And there is the underground, which is the basement level, which is where at least for sure, St. Valentine and Alquist are. This confrontation between Joey and the Giovanni and his pack mates is kind of happening right kind of at the edge between the sanctum and the cloisters, where their rooms kind of like meet and open up to each other. But yeah, Reese, you are able to actually, you know what? Give me a dex and stealth. Let's see if you definitely can get past them. Let's just see if you get past them without them noticing.
For sure.
But Joey, you've sent that message, and they're still standing there in front of you. And you see Mickey and Bronx are just basically staring daggers through you. What did you get there, Reese?
5 with a crit.
You very much see Reese just sort of like floats by, but like kind of gives you the high sign, Joey. But they're on the other side of them, closer to basically what would have been the exit out to the street. But they make eyes with you, Joey.
So before I finish, so I send that text message to Lula, and while I'm still in the text message app, I go to a number that doesn't have a name on it, just has dashes on it. And the text message chat is full of hearts and random things. And I write, take the Broken Club and the others downstairs. Just tell them that you're here with Joey. Drinks are on me. Stay out of the VIP. And I hit send, and that goes to Paisley.
A few moments later, you see your friend, the pink-haired woman, sort of kind of starting to gently shoo people. You see a contingent of this brilliant, beautiful Brazilian guy. It looks like he should be an underwear model, with this a blonde on one arm, and the young movie star. You think her name is Victoria? Maybe sort of start to make their way around. You definitely see Paisley's pink head bopping through the dark ambiance in here. And it seems like people are starting to slowly move, but probably not as fast as you would like.
Yeah. After I put the phone down, I put it back in my pocket. I look across the whole entire group. When I hit Reese, I look at one of the other ones, but I keep my face towards Reese, and I just nod to let them know that I've seen them, but I'm not going to keep eye contact with them. I'm going to continue to go back and forth. I don't need eye contact with non-threats.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm very much going back and forth between all of them and not backing down whatsoever.
Cray sort of looks you up and down, and he's like, been a minute since we seen you out on the boat, Joey.
Yep. Just enough time, you know. What's the saying? Distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, but it also says out of sight, out of mind. And when you say that, Bronx gives you the faintest growl. Just
my head snaps to him and kind of leans forward. No growling, just leans forward like, are you really trying to do that right now?
When you do that, he does like stiffen up a little bit. Like he doesn't do like the full step backwards, but like he very much kind of like, oh, okay, right. You know, like he's still trying to mean mug, but you recognize the posture is an appropriate acknowledgement of your dominance. You know,
look, things change, life changes. We all just need to figure our own thing out, right? I haven't hurt you guys. Nothing I've done. In fact, I've even messaged out to your friend to try to get them to come up here and talk to you about this whole Baronhood thing.
Cray sort of adjusts his tie and he's like, yeah, you haven't hurt us, buddy, but you know, the boss is still kind of sore on the fact that you were supposed to be keeping an eye on Valentina, and then that shit happened, and now she's like she is now, and
you know, have you ever tried to keep an eye on that girl? Good luck. Good luck to whoever's next on that list to have to keep a hold of her. Besides, you know, maybe it just isn't right. You know, maybe we should let her make her own decisions.
Yeah, you definitely been hanging around the wrong crowd, Joey. You definitely been hanging around the wrong crowd.
Yeah, and I'm okay with it.
Meanwhile, back downstairs, St. Valentine. So first for your entrancement, Alquist, how many successes?
5. And yeah, that's a 5.
All right, let me see to what extent he can resist you.
Resist me.
It's true. I mean, but who would want to? So we need to roll
Contact high from this entrancement.
Ooh.
His eye, as he looks at you through his spectacles, his pupils are like dinner plates. Alquist. I mean, he just looks at you and he's like, "Oh, I just hadn't quite ever made the acquaintance of someone like you, Mr. Lazier."
Of course. I'm sure the pleasure is all yours.
He takes a step forward, but like very much stops before he touches the bars again. He's like, oh.
So I want you to do something for me, and I would very much, if you would not falter from this.
Oh,
I want you to speak to my friend here, and do not tell him any lies.
Oh, yes,
And I
absolutely.
got 6 successes on that premonition to get a vibe from him if he's being honest or not.
6 crit or any crit? I mean, crit or no crit?
No crit.
Lula, as he is like nodding, you're like, you know, like, you know, almost babbling in the presence of Alquist, the sight opens up for you again, and you see this man in what looks like a library. There are books stacked up to the roof. But not just books. There's things that are like parchments, etched tablets. It looks almost more like a museum than just a library. And he is walking along happily, curating things, and you see he starts to move oddly like a marionette, like he is a puppet moving around, but he's happy. He's like whistling to himself, and and like knocks something over and kind of like fumbles with, oh dear, arranging things indefinitely. And the scene pulls back further and further, and you see the strings go up to a white hand that is made out of marble. And there are circles and glyphs etched into the hand as the strings reach out and are manipulating him. And you don't see what the hand is attached to, and you're back. I believe you might be muted, ma'am.
Darn it. As Lula sees each of those things, she'll say it out loud. She'll be like, oh, yes, in a library, and strings, and like a puppet. There's a marble hand, things etched into it. What do you know about marble hand? Does it sound familiar to you, St. Valentine marble hand? How about you, Madison? There seems to be a bit of puppetry going on here.
Yeah, this is so odd because, like, I mean, I checked this with rituals. I double checked my work. Like, if you're not my sire, then someone as powerful as us wanted me to think that.
He sort of like turns his face to you, but doesn't take his eyes off of Alquist. And he's like, oh, that sort of misdirection is it's easy, my boy. It's textbook, especially for someone who's had a little more experience than you have. No, you are very gifted with the sleight of hand and misdirection, but that doesn't quite make you a sorcerer now, does it?
You don't get to lecture me about any of this stuff.
I've only ever wanted what was best for you, lad. I'd heard that you were back. That's true, but I just thought it was a rumor. I never knew where you'd gone in the first place. I didn't know that you were Tremere. What's it like? Is it as marvelous as I dreamed?
It's nothing like I imagined. I thought I would be part of a community that finally understood what I was passionate about, but none of them know what I want to know, and they don't take me seriously either. And I mean, I've had ones reach out to me, but they're not what I'm looking for. Now I don't even know what I'm looking for.
When you say that, you hear a woman's voice say, how do you know we're not what you're looking for if you don't pick up the fucking phone, St. Valentine? And you turn around to see the people I described as Emerson and Silk standing down there in the basement. You have never met them before, St. Valentine. Again, head to toe, black. They're in very expensive outfits that look incredibly theatrical, though. They look like performers in a very expensive show. She's got wire rim spectacles and again in a ponytail. He looks well kempt with salt and pepper hair that is like very slicked down. And Lula, your phone rings with the message from Joey that you need to come upstairs.
Oh, when I see them, I go, oh, look, I found him. Oh, and then I reach down and I look at my phone. And when I see the message, I wander close to the hall to see if there are any non-kindred stagehands walking around.
There are several, and you're also starting to see some of the people you recognize kind of making their way down the stairs. You see Klaus loudly and belligerently explaining that he wouldn't have needed any of this like practical crap, that this wasn't even really magic. I
stop two of them in particular as they're walking. And I go, come here. I call over Klaus and a gentleman that the St. Valentine and Alquist have never met before, but have heard of being particularly good at Oblivion. And I'm referring to Jax, and I call them both over and I go, I'm going to do a thing, and I need you guys to hide my body, even from these two right now, because I don't want anyone reading their minds.
And I'm just going to fall down to the ground and go into one of the stage hands and let them kind of drag me off and put me wherever they shall stash me, which I'm sure is up to the DM.
Mr. Jackson Redfern leans in and goes, Miss Lula, I would, oh, shit. And you hit the floor right in front of him. You are able to possess one of the stage hands. Make your rouse checks to see if that goes through.
Now hungry.
Past 1 or 2?
That's only 1, I believe, right?
I believe possession is 2. Let me double check.
Majesty's 2, but I think possession is just 1.
But possession is also a level 5 power, and those tend to be 2. But let me double check. I could definitely be wrong.
If so,
possession
I've
is 2.
been this wrong the whole time.
Yep,
So
possession is
good to
2.
know. Oh, and that's a failed one. So
in the deafening silence, you hear a small voice that you're not accustomed to, Lula. It says, Lula, this is a mistake. You're going to get all of us killed. Let's just hide. None of this is our problem.
What on earth is that?
Mm-hmm. And you do take over the body of, is there anyone in particular you would want? Male, female, or just first available?
The first available one that actually looks like they lift, which I assume is most of the stagehands, considering that they have to like climb rigging and put things up. But she will particularly one that not that she plans to fight with him, just one that looks intimidating.
Got it. There's a burly guy, definitely has that old man strength, sort of walking by, and then you make your way back upstairs.
I do. I head up to the VIP.
Yes. Well, so again, the
In my
VIP
Edgar suit.
is where Vi is, which is overlooking the floor, which is where the Giovanni is. No, you can go there. I'm just making sure that you're clear on where everything is. The VIP is overlooking this. You know, Vi is up there. Mm-hmm. There's the floor where the Giovanni, Reese, and Joey are, and where most of the audience is.
I will walk out to wherever the text message told me to walk out to.
All right. Vi, as you are overlooking the floor, you see Joey squared off with these people. From your superior vantage point, you see Reese kind of getting in position. And you see Cray looks at Joey and just a big smile comes over his face. But so far, nobody's reaching for guns, nothing, overtly violent, but there's definitely a lot of tension.
Question. I think I know the answer to this, but this club, is any part of it underground?
The whole area of where St. Valentine and Alquist are is underground. This right here, street where they're all street level, and you would basically be like the second story. And
what are the walls and the floor made of?
Where you are currently, or underground?
Both.
Here, standard stuff. Like, I mean, there's nothing special about the construction of this building. So, drywall, plaster. I mean, it's not like, ancient stone or anything. Down underground, same thing, concrete. It's very industrially. What are you trying to? Well, hashtag asking for a friend, right? Asking for a friend. Vi, while you're kind of looking around, you get another text message. Back from Zetis to the group meeting. And he's like, something really fucking weird is happening outside.
Okay, I'm gonna go outside, I guess.
Well, from where you are, you would need to get past all of them to get outside, because you're in the secluded VIP overlooking the club. So you very much have a view of all of this, but you do not have an easy exit. Although Jade did tell you she would get you out if you needed it.
Jade, you still there?
Yeah.
I would like to go check on some stuff outside. Can you get me there?
Yeah, you sneaky at all?
I'd like to think so, yeah.
No, that's if you answered like you're okay, you're not great. Okay. You feel you see her you feel a hand gently touch you.
Hmm.
And she's like, this might feel a little weird, okay?
Okay.
And a moment later, she appears. She's standing there touching you.
Okay.
She's like,
Did you say this would feel weird because you think I'm not used to being touched, or?
I mean, you seem like the type, yeah, but no, you're hidden right now, though. They can't see you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
just stay close, all right? Oh, and
Okay.
make sure you're touching me or I'm touching you, okay?
Okay. And where is she touching me right now?
She just kind of has her hand on your arm.
Okay.
You
Cool.
you can adjust without, breaking it automatically. Like if you want her to touch you somewhere else or you touch her somewhere else, like she's like,
I'm just gonna hold her hand, basically.
okay. She
So both holding.
She holds your hand and she pulls out a 9mm with the other one. And is
Okay.
like, yeah. She's like, all right, let's go. I'll get you out. And she leads you down towards the stairs, and there is sure enough a VIP entrance, kind of unmarked door at the back of the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And when she opens the door, she just stops in her tracks and is like, oh shit. You see outside there are dozens of people just standing there. And they're all wearing like black hoodies that are pulled way down over their face. There's probably 40 of them. And unintentionally, really, your spectral sight opens up, Vi, and the sky is just clouded with ghosts. It's like a storm is raging around the club, very much centered on the club.
Oh, this is not good. I'm gonna. Okay. I will send a text message because I feel like a walkie will be loud. And to the group, and the group meaning everybody, maybe except for Alquist. But text everyone and just say, we have quite a lot of visitors outside of the ghostly nature. This is not good, y'all.
You send the message even if Alquist doesn't see it. You did your part, Vi. And, Lula, you make your way over in your stagehand to see the standoff that is there. And you see Cray basically smiling at Joey, and he's like, so you gonna take us to this baron of yours? I didn't know that you were on such friendly terms with non-family, Joey.
It's a miracle how easy it is once you take the blinds off. And Joey turns around, completely showing his back to them, and starts walking to the VIP like staircase that goes upstairs. And then after I take a step or two, I turn, I go, are you going to be following me or what? Let's go. And then I continue walking.
I follow with them, behind them, not saying a word, and I just kind of walk with them right at the end, following them till they get to the VIP.
They walk for a few moments, and they sort of stop at the bottom of the stairs, and Cray just like looks up at the stairs, and he's like, you two go on up. And you see Bronx and Mickey do start going up the stairs, but Cray and Sullivan stand down at the bottom of it while you guys are walking up. What is Reese doing during all of this?
So we heard about the ghosts. We didn't hear about the hoodies. So all right. That means it's a show of force. I don't really know much about the nature. I don't like that Cray and Sullivan are not going up the stairs. Reese is starting to figure out exits. Reese is figuring out paths of travel.
There's not a lot.
There's gonna be the bar should have a service exit.
There's definitely the front door, like one or
Yep.
two hidden fire escapes, but this building is very old, and quite frankly, if someone looked too close, would probably kind of shut it down. Maybe some people have been paid off to kind of ignore some fire safety things.
So
It's a little bit of a death trap.
I'm gonna edge my way toward the roped off asylum part, keeping my eyes across. I'm gonna start knocking at some of those walls just to feel how solid it is, and I am gonna activate potence. If there aren't enough exits, I could always make more.
Again, this building is old. It is by no means a fortified structure. You feel like if you had to do some aggressive renovation, you could get through one of these walls. Might take a couple swings, but you could do it.
Yeah, and I'll text Amethyst, friendly hands up, look out.
A moment later, you just get back one word: fuck. Downstairs, St. Valentine. Madison still stands shivering in the cage, very much enamored with Alquist. And you see, again, Emerson and Silk just sort of standing there. They very much can see him in the cage. And they're standing there.
So how are you involved in all of this? I ask Emerson and Silk. Someone has misdirected me. Was it you?
They look at each other and they're like, do you know who we are?
You're the Black Rabbit. You're Tremere from the Chantry.
Well, glad to know that our reputation precedes us. Yeah. I'm Silk. That's Emerson. We've been trying to get a hold of you for a while.
The cards, all the readings I did, they told me specifically that you were just there to muddy the water, that you weren't part of my story.
They literally laugh. They're
Is
like,
this funny to you?
you're so young. Okay. Hey, so do you know who that is? And they motion towards Madison.
I mean, I was under the impression that he was my sire, but now I'm not so sure.
Emerson just sort of shakes his head, and Silk just goes, Jesus fuck. Okay. You should let that guy go, and you should pray to whatever gods you believe in. He doesn't tell his people what you've done.
Okay. So why are you here?
Emerson pipes up. He's like, I was here to try and save your life again.
Why?
He just turns and looks at Silk. And she's like, she does take a step forward towards you. And she's like, Valentine, get that guy the fuck out of here. I will tell you whatever you want to know.
You can drop this stuff. You can let him go.
You sure you don't want me to erase his memory of what happened?
No. And I look at Madison and I say, well, whatever ill will I had for you, I could see was clearly misplaced. and I do appreciate the guidance that you did give me. So, if it's okay with you, I'd like to stay in touch. And I hope that you're not too insulted and can forgive how ham-fisted all of this was.
He does sort of idly kind of run a hand down Alquist's lapel, and he's like, "Oh, no offense. This is the most excitement I've had in years, many years. Yes, come by the shop, lad. I'll try and fill in some of the gaps that you might have. And Saint Valentine." He whispers in your ear. He's like, "Whatever they offer you, boy, they're not the only Tremere around." And he does just so he gives you like a little punch, and he's like, "This was quite a thing. I think you might find that this actually succeeded better than you expected, really. Did better than you expected."
I like your optimism.
He looks sort of towards Emerson and Silk, and he's like, "So I can," and he kind of points past them towards the door, and they both step out of the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alquist, I'm sorry. I think by having you helping me here, we're actually missing the main event. Did you get a message on your phone? I think our friends are dealing with some real shit.
Yes. Yes, I have a message. I do.
All right.
Would you mind? I've read mine, of course, but what does yours say?
Apparently, our Giovanni friends are making a stand outside.
Yes, I know. It's quite traumatic events happening. We could
So-
probably go that way. Yes.
Yeah, let's go find the others first.
Yes.
Silk holds her hand up, and she's like, "No.
No what?
Meat Boy can go, but you need to stay and talk to us, Valentine."
Okay.
Valentine.
You know that my friends might be in trouble. And a lot of the reason that all this is going on is my fault. So you're going to have me them?
Shouldn't you get something for all of your trouble?
Okay, I'm listening.
Emerson looks at Alquist, and he's like, "What's it going to be, Moneybags? You staying or you going?"
I think I'll stay.
You know Vi is out there, right, Alquist?
Yes, I care about you at times.
Okay. All right. I guess Meat Boy's staying.
Emerson's like, "What do you remember about being turned?"
I don't remember any of it.
He just sort of motions around. He's like, "You seem to have jumped to a whole lot of conclusions for someone who doesn't remember anything."
This is not just my imagination. The signs were there. They were in every codex that I examined, every librum, every grimoire. They all pointed back to this. They told me that I was part of something that had been going on for centuries. They wouldn't say what that was, but trust me, I have been accused of being a narcissist in the past, but this is not all just crazy egomania stuff. I mean, I have been actively misled.
Silk just sort of nods, and she's like, "You're right, Valentine. You're right. You are special. You were chosen. Your work did put you on the radar of the Tremere. Just not our Tremere. And one of ours took it upon themselves to get to you first."
Are we talking, when you say not our kind of Tremere, are we talking about an anarch or something else.
Meanwhile, upstairs, Cray stops and he's like, Joey, just in case you were worried about witnesses or what someone might say or any of that sort of stuff, why don't we just make sure that's not going to be a problem? And all around him, thick black shadows start erupting and filling up the entire club. And all of the mortals begin to choke and gasp. And all of this is plunged into thick blackness. It is difficult to see further past the hand in front of your face. Lula, even the mortal shell that you are riding on begins to quickly choke and die. But Joey, you, along with Mickey and Bronx, a little bit further up the stairs, are out of the cloud. But all of the mortals are very much dying.
So you thought instead of having witnesses, you should just kill a bunch of people so that we have the Inquisition on our ass now?
Mm-hmm.
Real quick point of clarification.
Yes.
I was following Joey. So
okay.
would I not be also out of the cloud with them?
I would say it catches you and you're able to scramble up the stairs a little bit.
Okay.
You start happening to you. You very much feel your lungs and heart begin to squeeze. And you also your no, I take that back. I was about to say something inaccurate, so I just won't. But yes, you very much sort of scramble to the foot of the stairs in your mortal shell, Lula, watching everything that is happening spread out. You all have seen this before. This is exactly what happened in the cave when Magdalena started squeezing the life out of the mortals for the mass turning. The difference is Magdalena, you saw, was maybe 10 square feet. This is easily filled the entire room. It is abundantly clear that Cray is much, much stronger than she was. And he looks up at you, Joey, and he's like, oh no, don't worry, Joey. They're all going to get put to use still. Waste not, want not, right?
Yep. I walk over to a table and I sit down and I wait for Lula to show up. And I just am paying very little mind to them.
Reese, all around you, dozens of people are choking to death.
Yes. And it's not happening again. First, that exit, it's happening right now. I'm gonna punch through the nice little hollow, cheap plaster crap right here. I'm good on a blood search for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can throw some, yeah.
Boom. Yeah, a couple hits. You go, especially because you're properly motivated. And when the wall breaks open, you see outside rows of people wearing black hoodies just standing there with the hoods all pulled down.
Bad out there, worse in here. I'm gonna activate fleetness and just try to haul mortals out. Anyone who's gasping, out. It's the best I can do right now.
You run. No, the Reese is at the other side of the club from where you are. And in this black darkness, none of you see anything. Even you, Reese, sort of are having to like just grasp like that's something soft. You know, I remembered it was 5 steps back. Yes, Vi. You are at the base of the stairwell. So basically what's happening here is they're going up the stairs to the VIP. You are essentially all the way at the bottom of that same staircase.
I'm outside.
Oh, well, yeah, but I mean, but the door is like just outside. I mean, I presumed that you were like you're in the doorway. So, you know, so you can hear their echoing voices. You do not hear screaming or anything because there's not any.
Like from anyone, no one's screaming on the inside.
Because they can't. If
Okay.
anything, the most conspicuous thing you hear is the music stops. That's your number one clue. Something's wrong.
As soon as the music stops, I'm going to activate heightened senses. And then I've also got Eyes of the Beast. I'm going to see and hear things.
Are you listening through? So, Eyes of the Beast. Our evolution of our understanding of how Eyes of the Beast interacts with Oblivion has altered over time. Yes, your Eyes of the Beast would allow you to penetrate the supernatural darkness to see what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Are you heightening your eyes or your ears?
My ears.
Off in the distance, it is difficult to hear because the Stygian shroud does muffle sound, but you can hear. And you do hear the boom, boom, boom off in the distance of Reese putting a hole in the wall. But for the most part, it is conspicuously silent. But you do hear what Joey says to Cray about your plan was to kill a lot of people and not have any witnesses. And Cray tells him, don't worry, they're going to get recycled. They're going to get put to use. And Jade is still very much holding your hand.
Jade, we got to get these people out of here.
Okay. I'll try and get word to Eigen and Naki.
Okay. And the hooded people, they're still just standing there?
They're just standing there. They're doing absolutely nothing but standing there.
How many are there?
At least 12 that you can see.
Just 12?
As far as you can tell, they're ringing the building. Like as you kind of look that way, they kind of go that way. And as you look that way, they kind of go that way. You know, like the place is surrounded.
And they're all facing the building?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to send Jade in to bring people out. And my plan is to earth meld where I am and to pop up behind the hooded people and pull out my guns. See if it does anything.
So there would be pavement over the soil, which I don't believe you can earth meld through pavement, but you could probably, you could scratch up a little bit. Like, I mean, if you took a turn to kind of like make a hole, you could find some
soil. Are they standing on pavement or are they standing on dirt?
No, stay in the parking lot. Yeah,
well,
it's all pavement.
Then I'm just going to start shooting them in the head from where I am.
Okay, you start bang, bang, bang. You know, that you start shooting in a roll, but basically if you don't best, you'll fail. You will hit because they don't do anything. They make no attempt whatsoever to avoid.
I'm more interested to see what happens to them when they get shot.
Okay, roll and then let me know. Lula.
Yes, dear. I'm trying to be as inconspicuous as possible as I'm moving about behind them. I'm kind of almost looking like a server or maybe bar staff. Is there a bar up on the level that we're at?
Yeah, there definitely where it was like drink. It's the VIP, you know, but it's more like a wet bar. Like it's just kind of like just stuff was out to have whatever you want.
Where is the hole that Reese made? Is that
far into the? It is nowhere near you. Far opposite end of the club, basically.
Is there any way for me to see outside from where I am at?
If you went down the stairs, you could see the door that Vi left open, and you could hear Vi shooting because that would be outside of the Stygian shroud. So you definitely would hear the pow, 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 and see the light coming in from the door.
But I can't. But I can't. I have no visual of what's going on out there.
What is it that you are trying to accomplish? And I'll see if you do or not.
It will not work unless I can see them.
You would have to go down the stairs to see out because it definitely is like down and then a door, and she's outside of that door.
I will just continue to eavesdrop then, and I'll walk up behind Joey. Have the others sat down next to him yet, or are they also just kind of like watching and perusing?
Cray and Sullivan are down on the floor of the club, but the other two, Mickey and Bronx, just sort of like made their way up. Like Mickey has gone all the way to the top of the VIP. Bronx is standing on the stairs with. Well, the Joey went all the way up too, right? Yeah. If Joey goes all the way up, they go all the way up.
So they're not leaving him alone.
They are not leaving Joey alone.
I will walk up to Joey and whoever's following him, and I will say something to Joey. You rang?
I look over and I look at this person that is clearly not Lula. Did I?
Yes, dear. You sent a text to my phone.
Ah. Interesting. All right, this is going to get weird. Boys, meet Lula.
Meanwhile, downstairs, Saint Valentine. Silk just sort of runs her hand over her hair, and she's like, "Okay, so it was me, Saint Valentine. It was me. I turned you without permission. And somebody who was trying to help me sabotaged your trick so that I could not get to you.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't answer all of my questions, but it's just, I feel like I visualized this moment and this is not what I expected. I wanted to relish this, but my friends are in trouble. And I like hold up the walkie. We need to get upstairs.
You see suddenly people scrambling down the stairs, and you do hear coughing and choking and and people like pouring down, the ones close enough to almost despite themselves fall down the stairs.
If we're going to have a relationship, we need to build it on actions. And so if you're sorry for what you did, or if you care at all about me, then you need to help me and my friends survive whatever the fuck this is.
Emerson looks at you and he's like, sorry is a strong word and cares even stronger, but we do have a vested interest into maintaining the Masquerade. So what can we do?
I guess let's go topside and get to my friends.
Silk sort of looks up. She's like, does the trapdoor work in reverse?
Yeah.
Well, let's go up.
All right. It's only going to fit about 2 of us at a time, though.
They both step back and they're like, please.
Alquist.
You and the hamburger helper here. After you.
Yeah,
How kind.
We'll see you up there.
I'd like to use blink and just shoot right up there.
Okay. All right.
Alquist is just gone. And after they look at each other and they look at you and like they say we're theatrical.
Yeah. Game knows game. I'll see you up there. And I get into the cage and close it.
She does right before you go. She is just like, call me after this, okay? Call me.
Okay.
And you teleport up into thick, inky blackness. Outside, Vi, when you start shooting, they fall to the ground and immediately start to stand back up again. And after you open up, you hear pow, 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 pow from the opposite end of the parking lot. You see Typhus and Zetis coming forward with machine guns tucked up. They're like pow, 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 making their way over towards you.
Okay, cool. So shooting does nothing. Great. I'm gonna activate feral weapons and start ripping their heads off
You notice whatever ammunition Typhus and Zedis are using is just kind of like pulping them. And when they hit the ground, whatever is left does keep trying to get up. Even as you grab them and start tearing them apart, like the intermittent chunks, it's like basically until they're destroyed utterly, they keep trying to stand up again. Hands crawl idly by, arms sort of flop, disconnected from anything. Yeah, it's terrible. And as you actually are getting your claws into them, you find there's a mixture of people that could probably pass for human, maybe just look really sick, all the way down to thoroughly rotten corpses.
Okay, gross. Super gross. Well, I'm just gonna, take out a lot of aggression on these corpses until they're all pulverized.
Reese, as you are making your way back in and out, you find again they don't do anything. The people in the hoods, they do just stand there. Until the first person gets up and tries to run, and they immediately just descend on that person, like punching and kicking and biting them to essentially not let them break the line. And you do very clearly, you don't see because they're on the opposite side of the building, but you hear the pow 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 of gunfire on the far side of the building.
Scatter, 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 scatter. Go, 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 go. I have to focus on getting them out. They'll certainly die in here. If they are mobbing single people, that means that they are making a hole that is breaking the line, which means other people might get out. But I know they will all choke in that Stygian cloud. So I have to clear as many people out of there, and from there, I'm gonna go football on them. But I gotta get them out first.
When you are running back and forth, a moment later, you see Amethyst come walking out with like a person thrown over her shoulder, and she's like, "You might want to avert your eyes, darling." Whoosh! She turns on a flamethrower and lights some of the things on fire, which start letting out a hideous, unearthly hiss.
My queen.
It's like. Meanwhile, back inside, when you say, "This is Lula," they turn and look at you, Lula, and they're like, "Huh. Okay. Boss," they say, "This is her." And a moment later, you see Sullivan's head pokes out of the darkness and looks up at you, Lula.
She's sitting there.
He just continues coming forward with his like burned face, locking eyes with you. And he just sort of like looks you up and down and motions out towards the dance floor where all the people are choking and dying.
Mm-hmm. Yes, dear.
And he just sits down in front of you and doesn't say a word.
She does the same.
Reese, while you're running back and forth, you grab people and it becomes harder and harder as you're getting further and further in. And you feel something wrap around you. Like the shadows themselves are trying to grab you. And you hear a voice clear as day be like, "Yeah, all right, that's going to be enough of that."
Whatever capacity I have to break that, I'm going to, or slip it, I'm going to try.
You can either strength and brawl or dex and athletics, but -3 because of the Stygian shroud. Actually, maybe -2. Let me double check that. Sorry. Yep. A negative something.
All right. Then I will roll for a blood surge on this then to get that back.
Yes, it is -3, by the way. Sorry. -3.
And I'm good for it, which means I am net 1 die down. So I will roll my strength and brawl. Does this count as strength and brawl kindred? I have a specialization in that.
No, because he's not actually touching you.
That's fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, hang on. More boys. Forgot about the buttons. Let's see.
Alquist, you appear on the trapdoor to see Reese frantically struggling with something. It's like the darkness itself, in the midst of all the rest of this, is like choking and pulling at them. It's almost like an octopus has appeared right in the middle of it.
I would like to go and help.
How would you like to do such a thing?
I'm just gonna walk over there. Reese, dear, what are you fighting with, and what is all of this?
Yeah, it is thick midnight black inside.
The cave! It's the cave all over again!
The panda, he's here.
13 on that brawl.
You
with
are
a crit,
able,
for whatever that's
you
worth.
are very much able to shake it, but it's exactly that. It's those same shadowy tentacles. It's the same thing again.
I'm gonna have to try to break it again, but I can't stop fighting this and trying. I have to try.
You find the more people that you're finding to get out, the more of them aren't moving when you find them. And you're sort of dragging bodies out and kind of laying them down outside.
Okay. Then I need to refocus on anyone that Amethyst hasn't already burnt in Zombieland.
Lula, up in the VIP, you see Cray rises out of the darkness with all of the shadows are underneath him, basically almost like a genie. In his upper half comes over towards you. And he's like, Baron. That's a neat trick you got there.
Oh, thank you, dear. Yes, I thought you'd like it.
And she stands up and walks kind of over to the bar and grabs a bottle of something and stands there with it and just kind of sets it up on the rail while they're talking.
Mm-hmm.
And she proceeds to do this a couple of times throughout the conversation. But yes.
Mm-hmm. He's like, so, I'm here on a diplomatic mission on behalf of the boss, boss, the only boss in Long Beach.
Yes. So I've heard. However, I don't think that's true. Long Beach is a very big place, and you're one family. Now, granted, you have a lot of undead things that you tend to boss around and you know, make things happen your way with the monsters and whatnot. But dear, I do find that if you try to start something with me, you will find that the shitstorm that falls down on your head afterwards won't be helped. So, again, you can even kill me. But I would advise against it because the fury that will come after you, I don't think you'll be able to survive. I am the one thing standing between you and the sunlight. Help me. Help you.
When you say that, Sullivan just holds his hand up, and Vi, you outside can see it. Reese, you can't. But the ghosts start moving in towards the building. And Lula, for your spectral sight, you see them start coming in all around you, all filling up the place.
Oh, no, dear. I understand that you feel like you have to make a point. But again, I wouldn't. I've never said anything to you to make you not trust what I've had to say. And quite frankly, I've, also never made you shoot yourself in the leg. So I think as it stands right here, your reasons to believe me much outweigh your reasons to believe Dom.
This is what people in our line of work like to call a come to Jesus moment. Joey,
Yeah.
should you do me a favor and tear this bitch's head off, please?
I don't think
I'm
so.
not entirely certain what point that will make, seeing as how it's not even my head, but do what you must.
And she looks at Joey and she winks at him. And she's holding something behind her back as she winks at Joey.
Joey gets up, walks over, and puts his hands around her neck and looks at her and goes, "Are you sure about this?"
She takes her hands and just very gently puts them on Joey's hands around her neck. And she slides a lighter into Joey's hand while it's clasped around her neck. And she takes off her shawl and kind of drapes it onto the bottles, kind of slightly pushing it in, and goes,
You're in the body you're in. You don't have a shawl. You're right. Skin right in this dude.
does he have anything on him that's like cloth wise? He's a stage
Jacket?
So he's got to have a rag, a jacket.
Well, yeah. We'll say he's got like a vesty thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
whatever he's got on, she takes off and kind of as she drapes it back, she like almost pretends like she's knocked over a bottle, but she pokes it into the top, and she tucks the lighter into Joey's hands while it's around her neck, and she goes,
Why, yes, dear, I'm certain it's not my body anyways.
Joey rips this person's head off.
It's like tearing through paper.
clarification, how many stains do I take for that?
We'll come back to that. There's gonna be some, yeah. But no, the dude it's tissue paper. He's immortal. It's nothing.
Yeah, and as I stand over the body, I look at the lighter in my hand and I light the jacket or the vest, whatever it was.
And what happens, Lula?
Oh, it's a chain of Molotov cocktails, essentially. All the bottles that are there are set to light the cord so that they'll explode.
The moment the flames kind of go across and light the Molotovs, out of somewhere in the darkness, you hear pew, 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 and each one whoosh, flames go off in the VIP. St. Valentine, you come out of the trapdoor just in time to see the whoosh go off in front of you. And a moment later, you hear Silk's voice in your ear say, now, would you like to see a magic trick?
Yes, please.
She and Emerson both step forward and hold up a hand, and flames erupt out of their hands too, going directly towards Cray, which sort of illuminate the room. And for a second, the darkness dissipates as their supernatural flames go across, and you see Eigen Grau, the jet black Nosferatu, with the gun over in the side, still looking for targets, shooting. You see out the door there, Reese tearing apart these people. You also see Zool is creeping towards the stairs with his gun in his hand, sort of looking around. And then the flames sort of hit Cray, and he jumps up over into the VIP area. And Joey, when the fire goes off, Mickey and Bronx immediately change. Full-scale Shadow Lords, huge and hulking.
Can I
Yes.
Can I chug an essence of air potion that I have prepped?
You absolutely can.
I want to fly up to the VIP area towards that's where Cray is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
You absolutely can.
All right. I want to try to fly up and get close to him.
Is all of this is happening? You hold on a second here. 1 second, sorry. I realize we are slightly over, you guys. I'm just trying to wrap this up so we don't leave you all dangling.
Or do.
Dangling's not dead.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That's the secret. You were dead to begin with.
So I have news for you about hanging?
Right.
I got news for you.
That should have been the name of this episode. Yes.
Oh man, can I call out something on the walkie?
Absolutely. And
Okay.
Typhus and Zedis have reached you, by the way.
Okay, great. Hey, Lula, you there? Do you got your box with you, Lula? If so, now would be a great time to pull it out.
Lula, you come to in your body to see both Klaus and Jackson's concerned faces there. Both Jackson has his sword drawn and Klaus is holding a palm full of flames of his own, standing watch over you. And you very much hear Vi say this as you start to hear the supernatural shrieking of the wraiths.
That damn box. She clicks on. I believe I gave it to Reese, dear. I don't have it.
Reese, you there?
You but you do hear this, Reese. You get it.
I was that whole thing over open comm, so I would have heard about the box.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then I'm not going to bother answering. I'm making for where the truck is parked with my fleetness up. And, all the speed I've got in the world to get to that, grab the box, run back.
Box is exactly where you stashed it because you did have it for just such an eventuality. And when you turn around, Reese, even you can see it. They have started to coalesce to the point that it is like a terrible oncoming storm. It is like a greenish spectral tidal wave of moaning, restless, angry spirits that is beginning to push in upon the club.
I race through in, hit the center of the floor of the club, and just activate the box.
You hit the switch, and you like, zzz, and all the ghosts just turn and stop and look at it for a second, and are gone. And Sullivan stands up from the table and literally just goes, huh. Joey, when Mickey and Bronx shift into their full Krenos form, what does Joey do?
I follow very, very closely in suit. Full on beast mode. I'm ready to go. And as I change form, I'm looking at them and you might both be able to kill me, but I'm taking you both out with me.
Why are you even fighting for these things? They're not family. We're your family.
They might be the family I chose. Let's go.
And they do both come at you. And to you all, it is difficult to perceive. It is a whirl of fur and teeth and claws and blood that goes spilling out of the VIP over onto the main floor. Lula, when you get back to your body, what are you doing?
I promptly I assume that I've been stashed far away with everyone else, so I would leave with my friends and kind of witness what's going on from afar, but staying by the walkie to keep for updates.
So you're making sure everybody gets out to safety?
Yes.
Okay. There is basically an underground passageway that the kindred are getting out, and a lot of the mortals are getting out through also, like half walking, half carrying each other out of here. And St. Valentine, you land up in the VIP is like Cray is very much like getting out and like pulls off his like burning coat. He is like clearly injured and pissed off and turns around and is like, all right. Apparently I gotta kill all of you fucking mutts, huh?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess, but I gotta admit, I'm impressed with everything you've accomplished here, and I know I don't stand a chance against you in a fight, but I just wanted to shake your hand before I go, if you do me that honor. Tradition.
Dying wish, huh?
Yeah.
He reaches out and he shakes your hand.
I use Cauldron of Blood on him.
Roll it. Let's see how good you get him.
2, 3, 4. I'm gonna spend a willpower to re-roll.
Okay.
Some of those.
Okay.
Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
You take his hand and you see he smiles as you begin to feel necrotic energy start to work its way through your arm. You know for sure he was about to do something and he just stops for a second and the darkness all dissipates. And you see the lines and veins on his face begin to appear as the very vitae in his veins is boiling. And he's
Vi sends her regards. I had planned to use this on my sire, but things are a little different now, and she did say that I should practice first.
Sullivan turns and looks at this, and his expression doesn't change at all. And he just looks at you. Valentine just kind of goes, huh. And you see he turns into pure shadow. He's like 2-dimensional. It's like he just flattens out, like he doesn't exist, and just sort of down through the floor. And Cray hits one knee, very much like clutching at his chest, like, and like opens his mouth, and you see Vitae sort of drops out of it and hits the floor like as it's coming out of him.
Do I see this?
Oh yes,
Can I do something?
absolutely.
I've been saving some bullets of mine that seem to have an interesting effect on Kindred.
Mhm.
Could I blink real quick straight to this kneeling Cray and shoot him in the face as many times as I can? Really.
Alquist, you appear there, and he sort of looks up at you with panic in his eyes.
Mm.
And do you say anything before you pull the trigger?
No. I just shoot him.
Boom, 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 boom. There is a bright white hot phosphorus flash as you pull the trigger. And in a few moments, he is reduced to a sizzling pile of oily ash. And when he does, all of the zombies drop to the ground immediately.
Oh, thank God. I am so tired of zombies. Quite disgusting.
Joey, as you are scrambling, fighting these other two, you hear ba-boom! And a huge bright flash goes off as Zool shoots one of them, and you when it hits Bronx in the side of the head. In a moment later, you hear the pow, 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 as Eigen Grau is moving around, shooting one of them also. What would you like to do, Joey?
I would like to, the one that Zool shot, since he only fired once, I'm going to pounce on him, and I'm going to King Kong this and just grab both ends of his mouth and just rip his head apart, whatever's left of it.
Mickey is like, and when you do this, Bronx immediately drops to his knees in front of you and is like, I'm sorry.
I put my hand up to have everyone stop firing, and I look and I go, then make this happen. Make this right. Get these people out of here.
He stands up and you see there are large but like very almost like finely drilled holes through him where Eigen shot him. You don't know what kind of bullets he's using, but it's something special. And he's like, what do you want me to tell the others?
You're not going to go back to the others. You're going to stay alive, but you're not going to go back to them.
But they're our family.
Yeah. Sometimes the fate is sucks, but it's better than dying right now, isn't it? It's your choice. You can go back or you can die.
Yeah.
Or you can die and attempt to go back or stay.
Whatever you say, boss. Outside, Lula, you have safely guided the kindred out. They are, of course, largely unaffected by the Stygian shroud, and a large number of the mortals have made it out safely as well.
She especially looks at Paisley as she's about to leave, and she gives her a hug, and she goes, be safe, dear, and take care. And we do want some more pies soon. If you could send some more of those down. And she pulls out her phone and goes, you know, dear, I tried to do this the nice way, but now I'm afraid I'm going to have to be a little bit more forceful.
And she sends a text message to the Baron of the Valley, stating that the Giovanni are going to make a power play for Hollywood and the Valley if he does not send reinforcements down to take care of the problem ASAP.
A moment later, you get a text back that says, well, if they take a shot, they better not miss. I got your back.
And she writes, thank you.
As the chaos is settling outside and you all have dealt with undead cleanup, presumably pulling the bits of these like bodies back inside. Actually, you pulled them out into a pile outside, and Amethyst very promptly hits it with the flamethrower. You notice again 911 never arrives in the midst of all of this insanity, a gift from Detective Zool. And you find yourself, St. Valentine, kind of standing on the stage. And Emerson walks up to you.
So, are you here for the after party?
He looks around. He's like, that wasn't the after party?
That's a joke, as we call it. But it's stagecraft.
Yeah, I'm a different kind of entertainer. Hey, I wanted to tell you something. I didn't sabotage your trick to save you from her. I sabotage your trick to save her from herself. What do you know about the Bahari? And that's actually a good place for us to stop. We did go a little over. I knew I wanted to finish this. I apologize. Actually, I'm not sorry, not even a little bit. We are going to have epilogues for our 5 castmates, but you know, maybe I could be persuaded to do a 6th epilogue for our wayward Shadow Lord Joey. I don't know. You guys.
Oh God.
Do it.
You guys let me know if that's something you would like. And of course, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for this entire season. Of course, we're not done. I don't mean like I'm giving you some grand goodbye, but thank you for tuning in. And most importantly, if you enjoyed this show, if you enjoy what we do, signal boost it, tell your friends, share the YouTube links. There's a lot of people that are home right now with some time on their hands they could join us here in the streets of Los Angeles. So for our finale, I will let you all say your goodbyes here, but I have to call you out because I can't see you. There's no way to do it in order. So yes, Ash, please.
Oh, I'm Ash Minnick. Hello and goodbye. Thank you for the views.
Where can they find you, Ash?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at astronaut44. You can find me on Twitter at moonclad_ash. You can usually find me here on Sundays. And keep an eye out for some announcements about new shows on the Twitters, on the tweets, on the, what do the kids call it? I don't know.
The tweetagrams, the Instabooks.
Boom.
Reese, heroic strong boy.
Hey, when I'm not Reese Keegan, I am Sam DeLev, and you can find me on Twitter at Tchaikovsky, ChaiKovsky. You can catch me here on QueueTimes on Mondays, that's tomorrow, for Clear Skies, the Star Trek Adventures RPG with Steampunks. That's at 6:30 PDT. You can also catch me on LFM_network for Veiled Alliance, the Dark Sun 5e RPG that we do, full of intrigue. So if you like this, you might also like. That's what I'm saying. And on QueueTimes, once again, on Twitch TV/D&D for A Darkened Wish, the streaming comic tie-in that we do, GM'd by that baby Dave Walters. He's awesome.
Sexy meat boy, Alquist Lazier.
It is I.
I said what I said, Internet. I said what I said.
Oh, meat boy. Hello, I'm D'Artagnan Mataliano, and you can find me at Don Mataliano at any of the socials. I'm not especially active on them, but I'm taking this quarantine to do just that. I am with all these wonderful folks here, actually almost all the time if I'm streaming anything. So please watch all of our shows. Thank you for watching this one, and I hope to see you in the next one.
Miss Lula Castile.
Hello there, I'm Melee Damage. I play Lula Castile, Baron Lula Castile, here on Long Beach by Night. On Thursdays, I play Helene on a wonderful show called A Darkened Wish with the rest of these guys and B. Dave Walters. I am on all of the social medias at whatever it is / Melee Damage, MAYLEIGH damage. And I also have a Patreon where I DM games and do all kinds of behind the scenes stuff for a lot of the streams that we do, including some of these ones with the Uncommon Trust, and then some of just, me and B Dave when we play video games together. So we do all kinds of fun stuff on the Patreon over there, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the chat hopefully Thursday for A Darkened Wish.
And last but certainly not least, the mage of the hour, Alquin Gersh.
Hey, I'm Alquin Gersh. I just wanted to thank everybody for dropping by and tuning in. It's very cool to have the support of the family for all of our adventures. I hope you're looking forward to the epilogues. If you want to find me on social media, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter and Instagram as different_elves. That's different elves. Yeah, and the thing I want you to go watch, make sure you're watching right now, most of all, is our show on Thursdays that people have talked about, A Darkened Wish. So yeah, no, we get a bit of a withdrawal with no Critical Role right now, but you have got Darkened Wish at least. So come check that out. Come check out my cool dragon guy. I play in that. Yeah, and thanks to all the other players, and of course to you, Dave, for just being such an amazing storyteller and helping us explore the world of darkness.
Yeah, thank you. And again, B. Dave Walters, I'm saying words about things wherever I can. Yes, this story is tied into my Patreon and the Discord, and a lot of those people whose names we were throwing out are some of the players there. So if you've got some time on your hands, word is we all kind of do right now, please feel free to come hang out, play with us via Discord, play with us in live games. That is patreon.com/B. Dave Walters. I am doing a play-by-post thing on Twitter that is Anarchs of New York, just a little fun experiment for people. And we have a ton of content with these fine people that you could watch. Battle Lords of the 23rd Century, our 4th shot is done. You could catch it all on VOD. We've got this whole show. If you haven't seen it, catch that on VOD. Dark and Wish, I think episode 4 just aired. We just recorded episode 6. It is one of the craziest sessions of D&D I've ever been a part of. Please get caught up so you can catch that one live. And thank you for everything. And we will see you next week for, I believe, the first one is Superstar Strunk Boy, Reese Keegan's epilogue. And we will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, Jake, QueueTimes. Sorry. Yes. Yeah.
I'm Jake, and I play Joey. And when you see people talk to you in Discord chat by QueueTimes, that's me. That's me. Hi, everyone. And in about less than an hour, I've got to prep for Court of Corvids. I'm just gonna leave. Bye, everyone.